Hello, everybody, and welcome to my 200K live. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. And before I get into the questions that you guys are going to submit, this is going to be like a Q&A format like last time. I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who has supported me so far on my channel. I can't believe I've hit 200,000 subscribers. It is truly like a dream come true for me, and I am so incredibly thankful. So big thank you to all of you. It would not be possible without you, and I appreciate every single one of you. So, if you guys have a question that you would like to ask me, you can send it in the chat. I have my editor Jake here with me again, so he's going to help me kind of go through everything and make sure that I answer all of your questions. So, again, just send your questions through in the chat. I'll look through and see if I see any so far. Let's see. Oh, someone said a bit low volume. Okay, let's see. Thoughts on older guys dating younger girls? I think it's totally up to you and what you're comfortable with. Obviously, keep it legal. I've heard something about half your age and add 7. I don't know if you guys would follow that rule, but that's like the unspoken rule I've seen on the internet. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's more important to just make sure that you're compatible with someone and you guys have, things in common, similar values. To where you could have a meaningful relationship. I don't necessarily think that maturity comes with age all the time. I know people who are probably 40 and way less mature than a lot of younger people I know. So, just again, finding someone that you're compatible with, I think, is the most important thing. Let's see. What on earth do women have against New Balance? So I think that New Balance has actually come out with a lot of really great newer styles. I think when girls hate on New Balance, they're referring to like the older like dad shoe style, and I know they're comfortable. And actually, those are coming back. They're incredibly trendy. I see a lot of girls wearing them, so I don't know why they're hating on you guys. But I do think there are a lot of really cool New Balance styles. So just because they're hating on the old ones doesn't mean the new ones aren't cool. See. Sorry guys, there's like so many, it's hard to. Marco says, how are you? I am great. How are you? I hope you're all doing well. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm sure you're all excited about that. Soccer Golf Ball asks, how do you recommend choosing between 2 girls? I think it really just depends on who you have values and ideas about life that you align the most with on. I would really stay away from making a decision solely based on what someone looks like on the outside, because that's not sustainable for a long-term relationship. And as much as that can be a great thing in the beginning and for like initial attraction, I don't think it's sustainable for keeping things healthy. So, you know, if you have 2 girls to choose from, clearly you have it going on and you have options, and that's a great thing. But when it really boils down to it, I would choose someone based off of compatibility and where you see yourself long term. Any future collabs with other YouTubers coming up? If not, who would you like to collab with? Yeah, I don't know if you guys know Rebecca Barrett, but I'm actually talking to her next week. That's on the schedule. I'm really excited about that. I really like her. She's a sweetheart. So I'm glad that she agreed to talk to me. So that'll be fun. I don't have any others planned at the moment. I just went on Playing with Fire 2 weeks ago, I think. So I had a great chat with Alex. But yeah, nothing else planned. If you guys have any recommendations or people you would want me to collab with, you can submit them in the chat and I'll take note of it. Thank you, Nino Marochi. Am I saying that right? I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. Keep in mind, I'm from Ohio, so I'm not the best with foreign names. This says, love your channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Giorgio. Giorgio comments on all my videos, and I feel like we are like internet besties. Um, I always love his comments. He says, "Hey Courtney, congratulations on 200K. Thanks for always being kind to me in the comments. What are 5 quick tips for dating a pretty woman? God bless." I don't know if I can think of 5 on my feet like this, but I think some tips to keep in mind are be what you want to attract, right? You have a great personality. I know that from talking to you in the comment section. So just, keep emulating that when you're talking to women. I think confidence plays a huge role, integrity plays a huge role. Being able to confidently talk to women also is a really important thing. And really, again, just being what you want to attract. If you have something in mind that you want, you kind of have to be that person yourself. So we already know you're doing a great job. I talk to you all the time in the comments and you're great. So you should have no problem. What else here? Someone says, do you only do reaction videos? No, I do a lot of other videos on my channel as well. I will do a reaction video like once a week or once every other week, depending. People that watch me really like them, so that's why I do them. I have plenty of my own ideas in a spreadsheet, so don't worry about me losing any ideas because I have plenty. Let's see. Sorry, guys. These regular comments are so hard for me to, they go so quick, it's hard for me to see them. How do you cut off a girl who is very toxic when you were very close to her? Honestly, I think that's something that a lot of us have been through at some point in our lives, whether it be a romantic relationship, a friendship, whatever it might be. And I think the fact that you know that they're toxic is a good enough starting point for you to understand that, maybe you need to start distancing yourself. And when it's someone romantic, someone that you were really interested in and close with, I know that that can be difficult. And if it's someone that, you dated or you had a serious relationship with, I would highly recommend completely cutting them off. I know sometimes you might think that you want to keep some sort of casual relationship with them or be friendly or whatever it is, but I think a lot of times that makes it really hard for you to get over that person. So sometimes cutting them off cold turkey is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Even if it's only short term and the time that it takes you to get over it, it can be really beneficial for the way that you get over it in the future. So you don't have to block them or mute them forever, but give yourself some time to heal from it. But the fact that you know that she's toxic is a great starting point because a lot of people can't even see that. So the fact that you're seeing that should be enough of a good indicator for you that you need to step away from her. Thank you, Cal. I appreciate it. Thank you, FISA Court Judge. I don't know what your real name is, but thank you. This says, "Hey, Mom, thanks for your help. Been in a healthy relationship for 4 months, thanks in part to your channel." Oh my gosh, you guys have no idea how happy it makes me to hear that. When I get comments or emails or DMs telling me that you've landed a couple dates with a girl you really like or things are going really well, that is like the reason I do what I do. And it just makes me feel so fulfilled. So thank you for sharing that with me. And I am so happy for you. Let's see. Even with slow mode on, this chat goes pretty quick. How can us short guys get more attention from women? That's a really good question. I've actually done an entire video for dating for short guys. I dated someone who was probably 5'5". I'm not kidding. He was like the same height as me. And when I would wear heels, I was taller than him. So don't write yourself off because you're short. There are plenty of attractive women that would date a short guy. And there's probably just as many that wouldn't. So don't completely write yourself off. But understand that it's a preference. So there's really nothing you can do if a girl prefers tall guys or won't date short guys. So don't even focus on those girls and really just focus on how you can be the best version of yourself. And if you bring a lot to the table as a person, then a girl will be able to see that and she won't care that you're short. So some girls care, some girls don't. Really, you just need to work on yourself, be confident, be in good physical shape, know how to dress yourself, Really just make sure that you're the whole package. I mean, that's what everyone should be going for, not just short guys. I think sometimes we kind of put ourselves on the back burner a little bit and stop working on ourselves. And I would not recommend anybody do that. I think, regardless of if you're short or tall, you should be working on yourself and trying to be the best that you can be. And ultimately, that's going to attract women. So it's not just to attract women, but it will in return attract women. Thank you, Ryan Hughes. I appreciate you. See, you talk a lot about how to get into a relationship, but can you give some advice on how to maintain a healthy relationship? Yes, I actually have an entire video coming out about that. I don't know if it's next week or the week after. I'm writing it right now. But that will be coming out soon. And I do plan on posting more videos about that because I know that some of you are already in relationships or you're married or whatever it is, and you guys could benefit from some advice too. So there will be more videos coming out all about that. So stay tuned. Okay. Thank you, Aces. He says, I don't approach her because I feel like I'm bothering her. I mean, sometimes it's easy to feel that way, especially if you've been shot down or you've gotten that response to girls before. It can kind of be like PTSD when you're approaching a girl, like you think that she's going to be all bothered or irritated, but you just have to go for it. And if it doesn't go the way that you planned, sometimes it just won't. And that's just part of being rejected and moving on from that. But I don't think you should let the fear of being rejected or feeling like you're bothering her keep you from approaching someone if you're really into them. I think it shows confidence and boldness when you do that. And I think it's a really attractive thing to do. So don't let that hold you back from approaching. And in return to that, also be able to read her body language. So if you do approach her and you're not getting any signs back that she's into the conversation or in the mood to be approached, then just move on. But don't let that keep you from approaching her. Okay, Jotaro5181, thank you for the $5. What do you think about pre-selection? Do you think girls like guys who get other women? Unfortunately, yeah, I think that is true. And I've talked about that in a video before. I think it was a reaction I did to Alexander Grace. I think that even from my own personal experience or just my interactions with women, when a girl sees that a guy has dated an attractive woman, it makes him more attractive. It sounds messed up, and that's because it probably is, but I think it shows to the women that are going after him that, okay, well, that girl dated him, so he must have something to offer and things like that. And I know that sounds messed up when you say it out loud, but I'm really just trying to be transparent and honest. I do think that that is a thing, and I think that it happens quite often. So yes, I would say yeah. And ultimately, you want to be with someone who has options and who is a good catch, right? So it would make sense that he would get other women. Okay, Beast Videos, thank you for the $9.99. I appreciate it. He says, should a man open up about his mental health issues, example ADHD, on the first date or in the relationship? Would that be a turnoff? Would she use it against him? I don't know if that's necessarily something you need to bring up on the first date unless it's something that is like a very prevalent part of your life that affects you greatly. I think you definitely should not keep things like that from your partner, and eventually you'll want to bring that up. But I would just wait until it happens like naturally in conversation, and don't stress yourself out about having to tell things like that. I mean, so many people have mental health problems, so there's nothing to be ashamed of. But let's see, would that be a turnoff? It probably depends on what it is, and it depends on the girl. So I can't say specifically. And some girls might use it against you, some girls might not. Again, it really just depends on the girl. But if you choose a good girl and you're with a great girl, she will not use it against you. That's just silly. Thank you, Eli Arbazia. Again, I'm probably butchering that for the $5. What's the best way to handle a girl saying I'm cute or asking me out? Should I play hard to get? Both have happened in the past. I don't think that playing hard to get is beneficial for anyone. I think it's silly, and I think that you should just be honest. If you like her, you like her. let's see, best way to handle a girl saying I'm cute. Take the compliment, be able to take the compliment. Don't say no I'm not, or like be self-deprecating. Like take the compliment and be thankful and thank her for that. And then if she asks you out, I mean, that's amazing. A lot of girls don't ask guys out at all, so if you're having a girl ask you out, that's a really great thing, and I think you should embrace it with open arms. So yeah, don't play hard to get. There's no reason, especially if she asked you out, she is highly interested, because girls hardly ever ask out guys. So if she made the effort to ask you out, she's definitely feeling you. So there's no need to play hard to get. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Eccentric T says, any advice? Thank you for the $4.99. Any advice to emotionally get over the one? It's been 2 years since my ex broke up, and since my ex and I broke up, and I know logically that there's others, but I'm emotionally stuck. Sorry, I butchered that, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, that's rough. I think we've all been there at some point. I have had instances where I broke up with someone and I was absolutely devastated. I don't know if for me it ever lasted 2 years, but that's why I think in the beginning it's so important to really make sure that you kind of embrace those feelings of sadness and like being sad about the fact that you lost someone that was important to you. Um, but then once you are able to embrace those feelings, you can kind of start to get over them. And it's all about the steps that you take too. So, like in the beginning, if you were constantly like, you kept talking to her all the time or checking her social media or like constantly keeping tabs on her, I think it can be harder for you to get over that person because you kept involving them in your life. So, that's why I always recommend, I did a video about how to get over her. And some of my tips in that video were to cut this person off because again, like I mentioned earlier, you might feel like you can be friends with them or keep them at an arm's length, but in reality that really hinders you being able to get over somebody. So I think completely cutting them off cold turkey is the best thing to do. But if it's been 2 years since you broke up, I think you have to really just accept the fact that if you've accepted the fact that you're not getting back together, you have to force yourself to move on, because being emotionally stuck on that person and like wondering what could have been is only going to hurt you and keep you from meeting people that could be an amazing match for you, and honestly just hold you back from any good opportunities that could come your way. So that's an emotional and mental thing that you have to get through. And you just have to kind of work through it and see what you can do. But I know that's a hard feeling. I've been there, and it sucks to feel so stuck on somebody, but you'll get there. I'm rooting for you. And watch my video on how to get over her, because I think that might help you. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, I think like sometimes the super chats go away depending on like how much they are, so if I'm missing you, I'm so sorry.
You can scroll up the chat a little bit and still see it.
Okay, cool. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, Strive, thank you for the $5. He says, I'm very confident about my exterior, 6'5", full beard, fit, but still have a hard time opening up and being myself around beautiful women. Any tips? I think there's a difference between being confident about the way you look on the outside and then being confident on the inside, right? So, why is it? I would probably need to know a little bit more about like, why is it that you feel like you can't be yourself? And it could also be the people that you're choosing to surround yourself with as well. Beautiful women are just people. I know that it can seem really intimidating when you see a beautiful person, you can kind of pedestalize them and be kind of starstruck a little bit, but beautiful women have insecurities too. Everybody does. And I think when you start to treat people like humans instead of pedestalizing them, it makes it a lot easier for you to interact with them. So that could be the issue. But maybe I would need a little bit more details. But yeah, working on that inner confidence, I think makes a huge difference. And really just being unapologetically yourself, right? You're going to be so unhappy if you're always worried about like what other people think about you. So be confident, be yourself. It sounds like you've got it going on and you have nothing to worry about. Okay. Thank you, Justin Minot, for the $6.99. He says, do you think it's normal for a girl to have a lot of guy friends but no girlfriends? No girlfriends, I think, is a red flag. I mean, I've definitely lost friends in the past. I think it's normal to lose friendships, but when she hasn't been able to keep at least one sustainable girlfriend relationship her entire life, that is a red flag to me because she's the common denominator in all of it. So I would say if she doesn't have at least one girlfriend, that's a red flag. If she has a lot of guy friends, I don't think that's always a red flag. I had a group of guy friends in high school that I still talk to today, and I think it's really nice to have friends of the opposite sex. I know there's a whole bunch of things that people like to say about that, but I've always really liked having guy friends and girlfriends. So again, I think it's all about a balance. Okay, Lennon Franco. Lennon, I talk to all the time as well in my comments. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Lenin. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. He says, "Hi, Courtney. How and where did you and Teddy meet?" Teddy and I actually met on Tinder about 3.5 years ago. So I was in college and he was a couple years older than me. Yeah, we met on Tinder. People always think that's funny when I tell them, but Tinder success stories, I guess. Let's see. Okay, Mark Marvin, thank you for the $5. He says, "I have a question. I've been alone for about 5 years. I find it very hard to even get out there because of PTSD." That's tough, and understand that you're not alone in feeling that way. There are so many people that struggle with mental health issues. I am not a therapist, so I can't really dive deep into the psychological issues there. So I would recommend, if you haven't already, go to therapy or get the help that you need, because a lot of times it's something that we can't necessarily do ourselves and we need that extra boost or extra help from someone else. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't feel embarrassed about it. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. And so many people, need to reach out for help, and there's nothing to be ashamed of there. So I'm going to therapy. I want to be transparent about that. I don't like the stigma that's around therapy, and there's nothing to feel bad about there. So if you haven't already reached out for help, I would highly recommend it. Okay, DT, thank you for the $5. He says, "I'm always in love with those who have a partner, not on purpose. Is there any better way to success it, or should I stop it?" Honestly, you can't help who you're attracted to, right? But I do think that going after people who already have a partner is a boundary that you shouldn't cross, and it's also just a waste of time, because if you were to go after that person and while they're in a relationship and then they go against their partner and go with you, that's a huge red flag that you should then look out for being in a relationship with them, because if they do that to someone else, they'll do it to you too. So either way, you kind of lose. So I would just recommend, if you notice yourself doing it, be like, all right, I got to move on. Let's find someone who's single next time. But I know you can't help who you're attracted to. Just try to be more mindful of it. Let's see. Justin, thank you for the $5. He asks, "What are some good hairstyle tips for military men, because we have to keep our hair within regulations?" Yeah, I actually dated someone in the Marines when I was in high school, like into college. So I totally understand. He would send me pictures of his haircuts all the time, but he would always have to get the high and tight. And I think those look great. I think short on the sides and a teeny bit longer on the top is a good way to do it. If that's something that you don't like, that's probably my favorite within the regulations. I pretty much know what the regulations are, and that's my favorite within them. So try the high and tight. I like those. And make sure you know what products to use too. I think that plays a huge role. Let's see. Oh my goodness. You guys asked so many questions. I love it. I'm sorry I can't get to all of you. There's like a million. Okay, I'm gonna butcher this username. MLA Throp 555. Thank you for the $5. He says, "Is it appropriate to ask out a waitress while she's working? Always thought it puts them in a weird position, but heard otherwise from them. Thanks." Again, this is one of those things that really depends on the girl. I used to be a server and I had guys ask me out, and of course, it didn't bother me. However, it did kind of put me in an awkward situation because I was working. And I think sometimes, if she's flirting with you or giving you signs that she might be into you, that's a scenario when I think it's okay. But if she's just being nice, I think sometimes guys mistake waitresses being nice for being into them when in reality they're just doing their job. So it can also be kind of awkward just depending on the situation. As long as you do it tastefully, I think it's okay. There was one time I was serving and this guy came in with his parents, and like in front of his parents he like told me I was beautiful and asked me on a date, and I felt so awkward because I was serving his whole family and like they were right there watching, and I was like, I have a boyfriend, sorry, which like I did at the time, so I wasn't lying, but I still felt incredibly awkward even though I had a perfectly reasonable excuse. So just make sure you're alone if you're going to ask. Like, it's awkward when there's other people around. Just a little pro tip there. um let's see. Okay, Cal, thank you for the $8.99. He says, ex-girlfriend doing crazy stuff. Apart from stalking online, turning guys she cheated on me into my new clone, hair, clothes, etc. What gives? He's very unattractive. Broke up with me to be with him 3 years ago. Well, it sounds like you dodged a bullet, so I would not worry about it. There's nothing for you to even sweat it about because you should be doing just fine without her. She literally broke up with you to be with someone else. So that is a huge red flag, and just a huge red flag in your face that you dodged a huge bullet. So I would not worry about it. It sounds like she might be a little bit crazy. So yeah, you dodged a bullet. Okay. Eli, thank you for the $5. He says, I have a lot of regrets over putting nice girls who liked me, who were kind of cute, maybe 6 or 7 in looks, and were nice in the friend zone. You know, I think we've all been there. I think a lot of times people who you put in the friend zone are actually probably really great people for you. Don't feel bad about it. I mean, girls do it to guys all the time. There's really nothing to feel bad about. Um, and I don't really think you should regret that, right? Because you learned from it. Maybe it led you to different experiences. You can't sometimes we don't make the best decisions, all right? So don't regret anything, but if you have an opportunity with them in the future, maybe, express that to them and let them know. But yeah, there's no need to regret anything, because anytime you regret something, I mean, whatever you did led you to where you are now, and maybe that's why you're feeling regret, because you're single or something and you wish that you were with them. But it is what it is. There's really nothing you can do to change the past, so there's no need to dwell on it, only what you do in the future. So when you're talking to girls in the future, maybe keep that in mind and don't necessarily just write someone off because they're kind of cute and put them in the friend zone, because looks fade and what's on the inside matters way more. But we've all done that, so don't feel bad. Okay, let's see. Govind, thank you. It says, it is okay. Is it okay to not want to get married? Yeah, I don't think marriage is for everybody. I think it's a very personal choice. And if you don't want to get married, there's nothing wrong with that. I understand why people don't want to get married, but I also understand that marriage can be an incredibly beautiful thing. And I want that for myself. So you don't have to feel that way. You don't have to get married. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to be married. And there's actually a lot of people that don't want to be married. So you'll probably have no problem finding someone that feels the same way you do. I think that's becoming a lot more common now, to not want to get married and to not want to have kids. I've seen a lot more people be like more outspoken about the fact that they don't want marriage or kids. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, thank you, Frank, for the $5, or Frank. If it's fancy, it's Frank. Thanks for the informational channel content. Should you ask a girl out even if you are afraid to lose her friendship? She's a very dear friend. Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah, and you have to be ready to lose that friendship if you do make that move, because a lot of times it will change the dynamic between the two of you. However, if you feel like she might be on the same page as you, then maybe it will work out. And I know a lot of times it does work out for people. So that's a really tough choice that you have to think about. I mean, I was really close friends with a guy in high school, and then he really liked me and expressed that to me. And we aren't friends anymore ultimately. And our whole dynamic changed. So it just never would have worked out. And I think sometimes it's sad, but you have to be ready and know that you might lose that friendship if you express a romantic interest. So that's a tough one, but I think you really need to think about that. Okay. Okay, Gentle007, thank you for the $4.99. Will you confirm or deny that a woman consents when a man is a simp? Great content and channel. I think some people don't even know like what a simp is. There's so many terms in this manosphere community that like I don't think normal people even really think about it. I think sometimes women just won't be interested in you. And if you go like above and beyond and you try too hard and you don't respect yourself, women see that. So just having that self respect and being able to walk away from someone who doesn't reciprocate the effort that you're putting in is like the main takeaway here. And a girl can tell when, you know, you know that she doesn't like you, but you keep trying anyway and you don't respect yourself. So keep that in mind. Um, Tails Black Pill Clips. Thank you for the 5. I don't know what that is. CHF. I'm not even sure what that is, but thank you for whatever that is. I am 5'2" and every girl rejects me because of my height. What can I do? I think height and face is everything. My 6'6" friends gets girls without showers. I'm so sorry, and it's so annoying. I know there are so many girls out there that will not date a guy that's like under 6 foot. It's like one of their most top things on their list. Like they won't even look your direction, and that sucks. And I understand that that probably feels really crappy. But understand that not every girl feels that way, and a lot of girls simply wouldn't date a guy that's shorter than them. So if you find a girl that's shorter than you, she probably won't care, to be totally honest. I think most girls just don't want to date a guy that's shorter than them. So there's plenty of girls that are under 5'2". If that's the case, you'll be totally fine. But don't let it discourage you, because I know that that can probably feel really crappy. But understand that height is not everything for a lot of girls out there. But gosh, that's probably so annoying. I can't even imagine. Okay. Oh my gosh. There's so many super chats. Okay. Gus, thank you for the $5. He says, what do you think about PC for men and geology products for men's skincare? Can you recommend any good YouTubers for skincare men routine? I did a video about, what was it called? I forget the name of it. I'll figure it out and let you know. If you message me on Instagram, I can send you the link. But basically, I highlighted some products in there that I really like and what your skincare routine should look like. I have never PC for men. I don't know what PC is. Geology, I've heard of it, but I've never used it and I don't know anyone that's used it, so I can't speak about it. Typically, I would say stay away from the like subscription box skincare products. I'm a skincare junkie and a fanatic about it, so I'm very picky about what I put on my face. You don't need to get crazy and spend a ton of money. There are plenty of good options at like the drugstore and stuff, but I would be careful with those kind of like subscription box service things, because I think a lot of times the ingredients that they use are not that great, to be totally honest with you. And I don't know any good YouTubers for skincare. I'm sure like Alex Costa has posted a video about skincare. He does all that stuff, maybe teaching men's fashion, those kind of guys. But again, they probably recommend the subscription boxes, so maybe not. If you guys in the comments help this guy out. Cold Steel, thank you for the $5. What do you think of asking a girl if she's interested in casual dating versus asking her out for one specific date? So are you asking if you should ask her, is casual dating, are you considering that hookups? If that's the case, I mean, it will be pretty obvious if she wants to date you like romantically or she just wants to hook up with you. You probably won't even have to ask her, to be totally honest. But I think you should be like honest upfront about what you're looking for, and then you'll attract people or get people to go out with you that want the same things. Just make sure you're on the same page. But yeah, I would have to know what you mean by like casual dating. Okay, 81 Malks, thank you for the $6.99. What do you think of the term women don't care about your struggles, they wait at the finish line and pick the winner? That's pretty morbid, but you know, I think for a lot of women that might be true. Of course, not every woman thinks that, but just being transparent, there are women who just want the successful guys who have already made it, and that can give them a luxury lifestyle. And I think it would not be right of me to say that that's not the case for some women. However, there are a lot of women that would be there with you when you're at the bottom and stick with you until you're at the top. So don't completely write women off thinking that they're all like that, because I promise that they're not. When I started dating my boyfriend, he was not successful on YouTube at all. He was working a very regular job, and the fact that I've watched him build his business and we've been able to grow together has been one of the most rewarding things in our relationship. So don't underestimate the girls that will stick with you through it all, because they're out there, I promise. Okay, Zach Glenn, thank you for the $5. How do you go from dating a girl to being in a relationship with her? Well, I think that kind of progresses over time and it happens pretty naturally. You get to a point when you realize that you don't really want each other to date anybody else and you become exclusive, and you have that conversation when you get there, but make sure that you don't do it too prematurely. Just kind of let it happen naturally and flow into it, because I promise it will. If it gets to that point, you'll have that conversation. Louise, thank you for the dollar. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Broken Champion, thank you for the $9.99. Is Lena E single? Haha. I don't actually know. Jake, do you know?
I don't.
I don't know if she's single, guys.
We can inquire.
Yeah, we'll reach out and let you guys know, because I know you all love Lena E. She is like my favorite of all time. I adore her. I love having her on my channel, and you guys all really like her too. So she will be back. Don't worry. John Joseph Gray the fourth, thank you for, or is that four? I don't even know. That's awful that I don't even know that. Okay, thank you for the $4.99. Should you let a friend know that his girlfriend is just with him for the attention because of the work he does, or just let things play out? I mean, I think it's important to be honest with your friends, and if you notice a red flag, if you really think it's a big deal, don't hesitate to say something, because they might not be able to see that. For example, I dated people in the past where there were a million red flags waving in my face, and I was still like, oh, this is the best thing ever, like totally oblivious, because I was like blinded by love, just so stupid. So, my friends telling me that they were bad news, or my family telling me that they didn't like that person, was very beneficial for me. So, you could really help your friend out by telling them if you think it's a big enough of a deal. Ryan Hughes, thank you for the $5. Would you consider a college football coach a high value career? Yeah, you have a job, you are doing something you like. I don't necessarily agree with all the things that people say about like being high value. I don't necessarily think you have to work a certain job to be high value. I think high value has a lot to do also with who you are on the inside and how happy and fulfilled your life is. Because I'm sorry, I would not want to be with a guy who was working a job he hated and treated me bad. I would not consider him high value, regardless of how much money he made. So, yes, if you're doing something that makes you happy and fulfilled, I would consider that a good career. Okay, guys, hold on. My mouth is so dry. All right. Let's see. Bad Hombre, $5. Thank you so much. Please tell me why girls befriend the side chicks and start doing things together behind your back. Discuss love triangle mentalities. Girls that do this are wacky. I could never imagine trying to be friends with a girl that I knew was with my boyfriend behind my back. Like, what is going on? Um, I don't agree with the side chick thing really anyway. So it's hard for me to understand that. And as a girl who would never be in that situation, it's also, again, hard for me to put myself in that scenario. But I think it's really just to like pin themselves against you, probably. Why else would she want to be friends with the side chick and like hang out with someone she knew that you were like sleeping with? That's so weird. I want to make sure I'm getting all of these, guys. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry if I. Okay, Tay, thank you for telling me how to say that, because I have no idea. Thank you, Tay, for the 555. I appreciate it. Been on apps for a while. I ask questions I get from the profile, like crafts they do, but always get one word responses left on red. Advice. Dating apps are tricky, especially for men. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but A lot of times people are just on there for like mindless scrolling, or they're bored, or they want like validation and attention. And unfortunately, it's a lot harder for men. I don't think men get near, actually, I know for a fact, I don't think, I know men do not get near as many matches or messages or responses as girls do. So sometimes if you just ask a simple question, you don't really stand out in a sea of messages from other guys, right? Because so many other guys are messaging this girl. But saying things that, have to do with the profile are good, but you really have to make yourself stand out, not in an outlandish way, but you have to try to say something that not every other guy is saying. So it's tough. Dating apps are a really hard place for men to be. I recognize that, and I'm sorry that you guys deal with that, but sadly, it's just the way that it is. Okay, Tring Shoe Repair and Key Shop, thank you for the $8.99. Well done on 200K, Courtney. Thank you. What are your thoughts on men embracing more feminine routines such as men's makeup, etc., versus losing traditional masculine values a lot of girls find attractive? Ultimately it is up to you and whatever you want to do with your life, right? I don't think we should necessarily be doing every single thing in our lives to please the opposite sex or to attract other people. If you feel comfortable doing one thing and some girls don't like you for that, that's their loss. There'll be plenty of girls out there that are attracted to you for the things that you are and you being authentically yourself. So I actually think the men's makeup is a really cool thing. I forget what celebrity it is, but someone just came out with a new line of makeup for men. And I mean, it would be great for people, especially like if you're on camera or whatever it is, like all these guys that are on TV or get their pictures taken or like videos and stuff, they all wear like foundation and makeup. So I think it's awesome that there's, things being formulated for men now. Um, yeah, I don't know. I would just say if you want to do those things. And if people aren't attracted to you for it, then they're not the right person for you. And that's okay because there will be people that are attracted to it. So don't worry about it. Um, okay, Silver Sueno, thank you for the $5. A nice collared long sleeve button up shirts with shorts, okay or not? Imagining it worn with a nice loafer like Cole Haan Nantucket loafer. Yes, I would say this is fine if you roll up the sleeves. I think that gives it a more casual, like summery vibe look. And I think that could look great with a pair of nice shorts and a pair of loafers. That's like an awesome summer outfit. So, yeah, that's totally acceptable. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Okay, before I get any further, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for submitting the super chats. From the ones that I got last time, I'm putting everything back into my channel. It's just really helping fund the future of my channel. I was able to buy a new microphone stand. I'm going to buy a new mic to do these live streams so that the audio is better. And then I have some really cool, like bigger production videos planned for the future, but they obviously require more cost, more production. I have a full-time employee, so I do have a lot of expenses. So all of this money is going straight back into my channel. And seriously, it means the world to me. Like, I can't even express my gratitude. I'm just so thankful. So before I read anymore, I just wanted to really say thank you so much to everyone that has sent a super chat because it really helps my channel and I appreciate it. Okay, FBI, thank you for the $10. He says, hi, Courtney, Latino guy here. There's a girl I like and she likes me too. I want to ask her out on a date, but I feel insecure about my Latino accent. Oh my goodness, do not feel insecure about your accent. Girls love accents. There is nothing to be insecure about, I promise. Even sometimes guys will message me and they will send a perfectly worded message and then say, sorry for my English. And I just want to give you all a hug because you have nothing to be insecure about. The fact that you can even speak two languages is so attractive. I only speak English, so I feel like a loser. So you're doing fine. You have nothing to feel insecure about, I promise. Hoffenheim, thank you for the $10. Oh, okay, you're explaining to me. CHFR Swiss francs. Francs. Congrats on 200K subs. When will the collab between you and Rebecca Barrett happen or Marnie? Thank you for clarifying that for me because I had no idea. I am talking to Rebecca next week, and then I'm actually going on Marnie's podcast. I forgot to mention that earlier in November, so that will be kind of a far ways away, but I'm trying to figure out maybe something I could do with her as well because I love Marnie. She's so sweet. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. My air conditioner is making this really annoying noise, and I put in a service request like 2 months ago, and they still haven't fixed it. So if you guys hear this like tapping noise, that's what that is. Trust me, it's annoying me too. Okay. Coding Jesus. Thank you for the $5. Every rewarding relationship I've been in with a woman I've met in real life. Dating apps are built for female validation. I would agree. I think it's much better. I mean, I met someone on Tinder, so I lucked out, and I actually know a good amount of people who have met people online. But for the most part, I do think girls just go on there to scroll and get attention. I'm not trying to hate on women for that, but I do think it's much easier for women than men on there. And I think if you're a guy, you have a much higher chance of having something successful with a woman if you do it in person. Okay, John Joseph Gray, thank you for the $4.99. He says, thank you for the advice because the thing I noticed is that she blatantly flirting with another guy who is a semi-celebrity. Yep. Unfortunately, I helped you out earlier. Yeah, so that was the follow-up. Let's see. Oh my goodness, there's so many. Tay, thank you very much. Luckily, I have met some in-person friends at my new job that invite me out, breaking out of my little fortress. That is awesome. I have also been trying to work on this. I know I posted that video, I think it was 2 weeks ago or maybe last week, about how to make friends and really putting yourself out there. Even if you're like an introvert and you feel like it's very hard for you or you have a hard time kind of getting out of your shell and getting out and doing things, I do think it's important. And that's a great way to meet people, not just romantic relationships, but also friendships. So definitely don't be afraid to put yourself out there. That's awesome that you're doing that. And work is a great place to meet friends too. I've made some like 2 really good friends that I still hang out with from my last job. Okay, Rex C5, thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. Mr. Caraman Memories, thank you for the $20. Hello, Courtney. Love your channel and the positive vibes you're bringing to the manosphere. If dating websites are hard for men, where do we go to find good ladies? Your thoughts? I did a video also all about where to meet women. Honestly, I think the best place is probably places that you enjoy going, or like hobbies or interests that you have. So if you go to a workout class every week, that could be a really great way to meet someone. If you are into a certain hobby, you go to like a cooking class or something, that could be a great place too. So really just finding something that you like that you guys would already both have in common, I think is probably the easiest way to meet people, romantic relationships and friendships. And also not just in person, but also online. There's a lot of groups you can join, a lot of forums, groups for different hobbies and interests, and meeting people through like a common or shared interest is just like the easiest thing ever. So I would try to do that. Okay, Entree Igudala. Sorry, I'm butchering that. I know it. Thank you for the $5. My best friend just moved to Cleveland. Where is the best place to take a girl on a first date? Ooh, trying to think. Honestly, I don't go out much, so I really don't know. And I'm not from Cleveland, so to be honest, I still don't know a ton of stuff down here. It would probably depend on what part of Cleveland you're in, but there's a ton of like cute coffee shops and things like that. If you message me on Instagram, I can send you some recommendations, or have your friend reach out to me and I can send some on there. But I would have to think about it because, like I said, I am so bad with like places to go and things like that. If someone asked me like what are the top 10 things to do in Cleveland, I could probably name the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the museum, and that's probably it. So I'm not the best person to ask. Okay, David, thank you for, oh, I lost it. Where'd it go? David, thank you for the $5. Your content has done so much for me and I can't thank you enough. Video idea you should do, matching fragrance with the clothing style. I'm so glad to hear that. It makes me so happy. That's a great idea. I never thought of that before, but that would be a good one. Or like matching fragrances to like a specific date night place. That's a good one. Or a specific like situation. And let me know in the chat if you guys like the fragrance videos that I do, because I have gotten a little bit too into fragrances lately, and I really enjoy talking about them on my channel. So if you guys like that, I can definitely do more. Oh, and I was also just in Curly Scent's video about the top fragrances for men that women love for fall. There was like a whole group of girls. It was the coolest little video idea, and I'm so glad that she included me. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out and get some good fall fragrance recommendations from some really awesome ladies on YouTube. Cardinal Bob, thank you. Extreme Consciousness, thank you for the $4.99. An old neighbor caught me off guard and we hooked up. Uh-oh, there was a connection. Then she said she just wanted to be friends. I'm a Gemini, she's Capricorn. Well, to be honest, I'm not really into all the astrology stuff. I know that's like probably an unpopular opinion these days, but I don't really think that has anything to do with anything. Ultimately, if she told you she just wants to be friends, there's nothing that you can do. I mean, you had that experience and now you know for the future, maybe you don't want to do that again. Maybe you want more casual things. I'm not sure. But if you want something serious and she doesn't, there's really nothing that you can do besides move on because the ball's in her court, especially if you've already expressed interest and she told you that she just wants to be friends.
Before we move on to more super chats, you want to try to find some in the comments?
Oh, sure. Sorry guys if I'm not getting to your comment. Like the regular chats, there are so many super chats. It's really hard for me to see the other ones. Okay, here's one. How do you approach a girl in class and how do you avoid awkwardness if she declines? I think approaching naturally is the best thing that you can do. So, like, if you guys are in the same class together, asking about something you're doing, asking for her advice about something, something like that, and then avoiding awkwardness. You're going to get rejected sometimes. That's just the way that it is. I think the best thing you can do is just say, okay, thank you. It was great talking to you. Like if you went up to her and started talking to her and then she said, oh no, sorry, I have a boyfriend. You just say, oh, okay, well, it was great. It was great chatting with you. That's all you say. You don't need to make it awkward. There's no reason for it to be awkward. Thoughts on Gypsy Crusader? I don't know what that is. I wouldn't take anyone to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Art museum would be a nice and quiet date. I think so too. I think a museum is a great first date place. I actually included that in my first date video that I did, just because, especially if you're someone who has a hard time keeping conversation going or making conversation, you're literally putting yourself in an atmosphere where there are conversation topics all around you. So it can feel a lot less stressful rather than if you were like going on a first date at a restaurant and it's like an interrogation center and you're staring at each other. Trying to keep the conversation going can sometimes be a little bit tricky. So I think a museum or like a farmer's market, a flea market, something like that is always a really great option. Just something where there's other things. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh. Now I'm all like out of order here. Oh my gosh. Abdul Salam. I'm probably saying that wrong, so I apologize. Thank you for the $1. Sean R91, thank you for the $7.50. Hey Courtney, love your channel. You're really helpful, genuine, and can feel you want the best for viewers. Thank you, I appreciate it. That is my goal, so I'm glad it's coming across. What are the best clothing brands for men? This one depends on your personal style. Lately, I've really been into I always like Taylor Stitch. That's a great option. They're a little bit pricey, but they make really nice quality stuff. Teddy has found some really awesome denim brands lately. I'll have to ask him what they are and maybe make a video about it. But he got a really great pair of selvage denim that look great. So I'll have to figure out what that is. Cheaper ones could be Everlane, Uniqlo for like the basics. Zara and H&M can be okay if you're on a budget. However, understand that when you buy things from those type of places, the quality is not there. So for something simple or something trendy, it can be okay. But if you have the money to spend, a little bit more money to spend for the basics and the classics in your wardrobe, I would get something a little bit nicer, maybe from like Nordstrom, again, Everlane. Mango is a nicer one than Zara. I think their quality is a little bit nicer than Zara. But again, it depends what you're looking for and what your budget is. So if you have something specific in mind, you can always reach out to me and I can try to help you there. But it really does kind of depend what you're looking for and what your budget is. I'm like losing my voice already, guys. I had a sore throat today for some reason. I don't know why, but this is not helping. Tony, thank you for the $9.99. Lucas, thank you for the $4.99. Firstly, love your videos. Do you think it's important to have social media to meet new girls? I'm 19 and I've never had Insta/Snap, never cared for it. Honestly, I've seen so many TikToks of girls saying like they're obsessed with guys that don't have social media. I think it's because the more people get into it, the more they realize like how many negative things come along with it. So I think it's fine if you're not into it, don't pretend to be into it just to get a girl, because there are a lot of girls out there that don't like a guy that's on social media all the time. I would actually argue that's better than, you know, being with a guy who is like constantly talking to girls or DMing girls on social media or like liking all their photos. So I think you're fine. Okay. Escobedo69. I don't know what that means. Thank you for the $2. Kelly Moore, thank you for the $10. He says, cheers to 200K. My dating life is awesome now. I had to put a lot of work on myself and understanding women. I went to help my friends, but they keep asking me for shortcuts in dating. What do I do? Unfortunately, there are no shortcuts. I would send them my videos and see if that helps them. I'm glad that it's helped you. Ultimately, I think you said everything right here. It takes a lot of work on yourself, and I think the more you work on yourself and the more you try to be the best version of yourself, the easier dating becomes. So, really, if you put in the work on yourself, there's no reason why you won't get girls or have success with dating. So, focus on yourself. I would tell them to do that. And there are no shortcuts, really. There aren't. There's not like a one liner or one specific thing you could say to a girl to get you to like her. I see so many stupid YouTube videos about like tips, and not necessarily tips, but like magic tricks to get a girl, and there's no such thing. There's no shortcut or magic trick. You really do have to put in the work, and that's for anything worth having takes a little bit of work. Fred Champion, thank you for the $5. Oh my gosh, I think I missed some. Oh, I missed one. Neil Ray, thank you for the $5. He says, Courtney, you're amazing and thanks for all the help. I love the cologne video and already bought 3. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. What body wash do you recommend for guys? You're great. So if you're really into fragrances, I would stay away from something that has a lot of scent in it, just because it's going to throw off the fragrances. I just use like a Vino unscented body wash, and I think my boyfriend uses that now too. It's good for your skin, just keeps it nice and nourished, and it doesn't have a scent, so you don't have to worry about it kind of mixing weird with the fragrances that you're wearing. So I would just recommend something like a Vino. What else? I don't know what other brands there are, but you can just get something from the drugstore. Okay, Ernest Ramirez, thank you for the $10. Hey, Courtney, congratulations on 200K. I know I'm a nice guy, but how do I know if I'm crossing the border into becoming a simp? When you don't know when to walk away, when you're losing respect for yourself and the other person is not reciprocating the time or effort or energy that you're putting in, you're starting to cross that line. So the only difference really between being a nice guy and a simp is that self-respect factor. So don't let yourself get to that point, because it's hard to get out of it once you get there, I imagine. So yeah, it's just that self-respect, and everyone should have self-respect, men and women included. Women can be simps too. They can be with a guy that treats them like crap and they keep going back for more. I would consider that a female version of a simp. So just don't lose that self-respect, because it's everything. My goodness. Let's see. Okay, Forever American, thank you for the $25. Your advice, along with other channels I watch, have got me to the point where even older, sexy ladies find me attractive because they show me the signs that they like me. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. What's your input on young men attracting older women? Ooh, I don't know if I have a good suggestion for this. I mean, I've obviously never been in this situation. If any of you guys have suggestions for him, please let him know in the comments. I would just say being mature. I think, you know, if you're going for older women, they probably still want someone who is kind of mature. But also, if an older woman is going for a younger guy, she might want someone that's like fun and exciting and young. That's obviously probably why they're going for him. So I would say definitely be mature to a point where you could be on the same level as her, but also they probably want someone fun and exciting. So if any other guys have any suggestions, let us know. Okay, Will Franz, thank you for the $4.99. Why women say they hate F boys but keep saying they date them? I see this all the time on You Up, Call Her Daddy podcast. You should go on. You get the male point of view. Yeah, I think a lot of times girls that go after these F boys are girls who are addicted to that constant chaos and just the turmoil of like a guy screwing them over again and again and like trying to be that girl that wins him over or changes him. And it's all about the chase. And then if they actually got that guy, they would realize, oh my gosh, he sucks. So those aren't really the type of girls you want because they're girls that aren't going for the right things and are addicted to that chaos, and that's something that they have to heal within themselves before they can be a good partner. So you're not really missing out on anything. Let's see, hope I didn't miss any. Let's see. Sorry guys, I'm trying to scroll through all these. Okay, I don't think I missed any. Let's see, let me answer some of the questions. I'm 27 and my crush is 31. Is that too big of a gap? No, I don't think so at all. My mom, I think, is 5 years older than my dad, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, I don't think that's bad. Hey, Courtney, could you do a video on girls' views on guys with tattoos? Just curious what your opinions are on that. I think it really depends on the girl, but I think most girls don't really care if a guy has tattoos. I think guys care more about if a girl has tattoos rather than girls caring about guys having tattoos, if that makes sense. Sorry guys, I'm trying to read through. Do you like twerking? I think you asked this question in the last live. No, I don't twerk. Should you go for the kiss on a first date? Also, what are some topics to talk about? Yeah, my boyfriend kissed me on the first date at the end of the date. You just kind of have to feel it out. Sorry, there's a siren. You just kind of have to feel it out and see, if the vibe is there for the kiss. Some topics to talk about on a first date. I mean, things that you're into, things you enjoy. I think sometimes first dates can feel a little bit like interviewy and mundane because you're trying to get to know them. But really, like when you're talking to them, try to see what they get excited about and what makes them light up when they talk about it, or if there's anything that you guys have in common that you can talk about. I think often then the conversation goes a lot better if you try to do those things. Okay, someone says, hi, what's your take on the black pill and how would you try to convince someone who swallowed it that it's doing nothing good for them? People ask me this a lot about black pill and red pill, and to be totally honest, I don't really know exactly what black pill is, but from what I've heard, just from people telling me things, it seems like it is like guys that really don't like women at all. And obviously, if you get to this point where you feel like you don't have anything left to offer, there's nothing women can give to you, and you're kind of just at this place where you feel hopeless, that's not going to do you any good, especially with women. So I would say that black pill is very extreme. And I think it's important to be somewhere in the middle. Understand women and why they do things and, their kind of point of view, just the same way that I do with you guys. I understand where you're coming from. I understand your point of view, but being able to see both sides and not being on one extreme or the other is incredibly important. I think you guys should try to find yourself somewhere in the middle again so you can see both sides and not get too like jaded and like it's kind of culty almost to be in this like red pill or black pill space. So keep an open mind and don't get so set in the ways like you're following it like a Bible or like it's your God or something. I think that's when it gets very scary and extreme. Okay. Chaos McCain, thank you for the $4.99. I have broken up with girls because they don't have shoulder freckles. Am I a bad person? That is a question I have never been asked in my entire life. So, congratulations. You just asked me a brand new question. Um, I mean, that's kind of an odd thing to break up with someone over. If they don't have shoulder freckles, they don't have sun damage. So, I would say that's a good thing. I have shoulder freckles and I wish I didn't. So, yeah, that's kind of weird. Let's see. Someone says they are bitter. I'm assuming you're talking about the black pill people. Yeah. I think a lot of people that do the black pill channels, they don't even have like a profile picture or have their faces in videos. They're just like some like random thing or like no picture. It's just like a black screen. It's just very bizarre to me. You can't even show your face. You're obviously not confident about what you're talking about. There's some other channels actually like that post really awful videos, like hateful, mean, bitter, and they don't even show their faces. So you know they're just like pitiful, cowardly. I hate keyboard warriors and people who get all high and mighty behind a screen that would never actually say that in real life. I can't stand channels like that. And I think it's really detrimental to men and women on either side. Black pill belongs to the deep web. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Trying to read some of these other questions. Hey, I broke up with a girl because she had bad breath all the time, but she was a model, so it was hard. You guys are so funny. Did you tell her her breath stunk or did you just break up with her? Because maybe you should have given her another chance to fix it. Sometimes that's like a genetic thing, I think. Are you for interracial relationships? Would you date a black guy? I mean, I'm taken now, but I would never not date someone based on the color of their skin. I think that's so stupid. If someone is a good catch and a good person, they're ready to be dated in my book. If they have what I'm looking for, I don't care what the color of their skin is. And I think people are a lot more open to that now, which I really like. Would women your age consider dating a man 35, 40, or 45 years old? How old is too old for short term versus long term dating? That really depends on the girl specifically. I would have no problem dating a guy who's 35. I don't know. Let's see, I'm 25. I probably wouldn't go any older than 35, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say because I'm not in that situation. Some 40-year-old could woo me over or something. Who knows? But yeah, I think it really depends on the girl. Some girls have no problem dating a guy that's much older. Some girls prefer a guy that's much older, and other girls want a guy who is like around her age. So yeah, it really just depends on the girl. Okay, political stock market. Thank you for the $5. Do you think you and your partner's political beliefs should align? Also, do you think most women are attracted to conservative or liberal men more? I think it's important. I'm not going to get super into politics or religion or anything. I don't want to talk about that on my channel, but I do think that it's important for your political beliefs and your religious beliefs to be pretty in alignment with the person that you want to spend forever with. And that's because the values and your ideas about life and your foundations of life are often based around those things. And your political and religious beliefs can say a lot about your morals and who you are as a person. Not always and not to the full extent, but I do think a lot of times if you have completely opposite views on politics and religion, there's really no way for that relationship to work long term, or I would have a very hard time seeing how it could. I imagine that it would just be like chaos every time you're talking to this person if you're disagreeing on legitimately everything about life. So, are women attracted to conservative or liberal men more? It depends if she's conservative or liberal. I would say liberals are probably into liberals and conservatives are probably into conservatives. I mean, again, just dating someone whose values align with yours, I think, is incredibly important. And I think sometimes people get into relationships thinking that they can overlook that, and then it ends up being a problem later in the relationship. So see that early on and maybe, base your decision off of that. And of course, it's up to you. If you don't really care about politics or religion, then of course it wouldn't be a big deal. But if you're like someone who's really passionate about it, then it would be. Jake, I think my computer is not plugged into the outlet. It's on like 19%, but it's plugged in.
Oh.
Did we never plug it in? Okay, sorry guys, technical difficulty. Let me see. Hi from London. Hello. Do you know of many couples that have different dietary preferences from each other? Vegetarian, vegan, omnivore. I follow a blogger on Instagram and she's a vegetarian and her husband just like eats regular. It seems like they do fine. The only thing I think that would be annoying is if I ate regular and my boyfriend was a vegetarian and I had to like cook him a completely different meal, that would probably get a little bit old and annoying after a while. But I think that's not as big of a deal as like political and religious beliefs, obviously. Unless you have like very strong beliefs about being vegan or vegetarian, then some of you might not want to date someone or be into someone who doesn't feel that way. I guess that could be the case too. It all depends on you individually, I think. Okay, we got a super chat. DJ157524, thank you for the $4.99. What is your take on value and body count? I personally think of one side is ridiculed, then both should be, and vice versa. Yeah, I don't really think it's fair that it's such a double standard, to be completely honest. I have a lot of guys comment like, she needs to be a virgin or all this stuff. And I'm sorry, but if you have slept with 300 women and you have qualifications for this girl to be a virgin, you're insane. There is something wrong with you. Now, if you're a virgin and that's something very important to you and you would like someone to be a virgin too, and then you save yourself for marriage and it's like based around your morals and values and religion, that is totally okay. But you don't get to be sleeping around with 300 girls and then say that you want to date a girl that's a virgin. That's not how it works, okay? Maybe at one point in life, but not anymore. I don't think that's fair. And I'm pretty open-minded about that. Body count might be important to you, and that's fine. It might not be important to you, and that's fine too. I do think when you ask questions, if you aren't ready to hear the answer, you shouldn't ask the question. Some guys would argue that you shouldn't ask. Other guys would argue that you should. If it's important to you, you can ask. If it's not, don't ask. Again, it really comes down to your values and what is important to you. If you know that you would never want to date a girl who had slept with a ton of guys, that's totally fine and totally your preference. And I think it's okay to say that. Same way a girl could say, I don't want to date a guy that's under 6 foot. You can say that you don't want to date a girl that slept with a ton of guys. I think it's the same thing. But I don't think you get to be a hypocrite, and you guys should be kind of on the same playing field, right? And I also think another thing to add to that, some girls actually care about a guy's body count. Like if I was talking to a guy and I asked him what his body count was and he said he had been with, hundreds of girls, I could not date him. It's important to me and I just could not. So that's something to keep in mind too. Like some girls care about that. A lot of girls don't. I've seen mixed things on TikTok about it. But just speaking for me personally, that's something that's very special and important to me. And I would not want to date a guy that had slept with a bunch of girls. That's gross to me. Courtney should do a prank video to spice it up. Okay, can you imagine me doing a prank video? Let me know too if you guys have any things you want me to do, like future videos, any topics you want me to cover, any different format styles. Definitely let me know because I'm open to doing different things. You guys, Jake is my editor, not my boyfriend. Someone said, question for Jake: how do you pull a girl like Courtney? He's just my editor. But Jake does have a very beautiful girlfriend too, so maybe that would be a good question to ask him. Let's see. Hey, Courtney, have you seen Playing with Fire's video on you today? No, I haven't seen it yet. I saw that he did the video, but I haven't gotten to watch it because I was getting ready for this. Yeah, he texted me and was talking to me about it, but no, I haven't watched it. Okay, Robert Seaton, thank you for the $5. Hey, Courtney, my work's dress code is business casual. Do you prefer shirts tucked in? I think in a business setting, it can be okay when you tuck them in. If you're wearing them more casually, I think definitely go untucked. But for work, I think it makes sense to tuck them in. But you can do whatever's more comfortable for you. Let's see. Hello. Oh, what is it? Modal Soul. Thank you for the $4.99. Hello from Columbus, Ohio. I'm 47, unattractive, and have a speech impediment. Should I give up finding a woman? No, absolutely not. And it sounds like the way that you feel about yourself is a big problem here. You need to look at your strengths also and not just your weaknesses, and understand that, if you have other things to bring to the table, those matter too. I think sometimes we get so fixated on the things that we're very insecure about that we completely write ourselves off, and I don't think that's healthy or constructive for you or your dating life. So be confident. I know that sometimes the insecurities can get the best of you and make you feel pretty bad about yourself. I've been there. I'm sure half the planet has been there too. But don't write yourself off, and don't give up on finding someone just because you have things that you feel like other people wouldn't like or things that you're insecure about, because you're just going to sell yourself short. Okay. Jack's Porty World, thank you for the $9.99. That's a funny username.
Do V-necks still look good on men?
V-necks. Ooh, to be totally honest, I'm not a huge fan of V-necks. They can, they do kind of add a little bit of angle to your face if you're someone with a rounder face. Sometimes a very tiny V-neck I think is okay because it can add a little bit of shape. If you have that round neck, the round neck collar with a round face, it can just make you look like very round, right? So I think sometimes it can add a little bit of angle and look okay, but I would keep it very shallow of a V-neck. You don't want to be going Jersey Shore with a super deep V. I think that a scoop or a regular collar shirt is normally a better option than the V cut. Roses are red, grapes make wine. How cliche are pickup lines? That was funny. Yeah, I think a lot of times guys get like one-liners or pickup lines from videos, and then girls hear them so much that it's like they know they're getting them from somewhere. So unless you've came up with something original in your head, I would not do the pickup lines. I would just be natural. Wayne Randalls, thank you for the $7.99. Hello. 99-cent shrimp cocktails. Where do you stand? That's pretty cheap for shrimp cocktails. I might be nervous eating that. Might cause a stomach ache. But I do love shrimp cocktail. What does it mean when someone says they're unavailable? Well, they might be unavailable and busy with life, or they might just be unavailable to you. So sometimes I think people will say that they're not interested or they're not looking for anything right now as a nice way to say that they're not really interested in dating you. So I would need a little bit more context. It kind of depends, but oh, I missed some. Seventh Son, thank you for the 977. Would you go out with me if I were to gain rock star status? JK, just donating. Funny. Thanks for building confidence for all my fellow brethren on here. I'm happy to do it, and thank you for donating. I appreciate it. Cold Steel, $5. Who would interest you more, a man who flirts and banters or a man who just asks you out? It depends on the setting, and I think it also depends on the girl. For me, I would be more impressed by a guy who was bold enough and confident enough to just tell me he was interested and ask me out. But I'm sure that some girls wouldn't feel that way. So it really depends on the girl. But also, I don't think there's anything wrong with a little back and forth and a little playful flirting. I think that can be okay too. But I like when people are very direct, because I'm not direct. Maybe now I would be if I was back in the dating game, because I'm a lot more confident now than I used to be. But like before, I would have never gone up to anybody. I would have never texted someone first. Things are different now, but I think a lot of girls will kind of feel that way too. Okay, Josh Woods, thank you. In your experience, if a guy has ceased contact with his abusive family to maintain his well-being, how do the women around you or yourself generally perceive that? Well, the fact that you had boundaries and you were able to distance yourself from people that you knew were not good for you is incredibly attractive. I think it's worse when a guy maintains those toxic friendships or relationships, whether it be your family, friends, whatever it might be. The fact that you had the courage and confidence to walk away from that and be able to recognize that it was not good for you is incredibly attractive. So I would say that most girls would see that the same way. I know a lot of times when you ask girls what they want in a guy, they'll say things like, well, he has to have a good relationship with his family and friends. But sometimes I think girls forget that, there's a lot of factors that go into that. Not all of our family lives are the same. Some of you have strained relationships with your family, or have never met your dad, or whatever it is. So I think that's something that you kind of have to take into consideration too. If you're a woman, um, you know, not everyone has the same family dynamic as you. So having that unrealistic standard is not really fair. But to go back to your question, I think that's a good thing. And good for you for being able, if you were in that situation, good for you for being able to walk away from that, because that's very difficult. Joshua Neverson, thank you for the $5. Have you heard about the Fresh and Fit podcast? I would love to see you have a conversation with those guys. Yeah, I heard about the drama. I saw the drama. It was like a guilty pleasure of mine that week. I was like too consumed with all the videos. It was crazy. I don't I'm not going to, I don't know. I don't know if I would ever go on that podcast after all of that happening. I've watched some other girls' videos, and you can only take things with a grain of salt. I know sometimes people are dramatic, but I've seen some girls say that they had a really bad experience. So I just don't even think I would subject myself to that. I don't want to be involved in any drama or any of that crap. I don't think it's productive. So Anthony G, thank you for $5. Any tips for short guys? Yeah, so I've actually talked about this already on the live, so I'm not going to go super into it. I did an entire video all about advice for short guys that I would highly recommend checking out. Basically, it boils down to the fact that some women care, some women don't. All you can do is show up and be your best self. I've dated a short guy. There's hope for you. Wayne Randalls, thank you so much for the $30.99. Enjoy reading your post. I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Okay, I'm going to read these, and then I'm going to go back to some regular comments too, so that you guys all get a chance. Ben Patana, thank you for the $5. Jose Sosa, thank you for the $5. How to express your intentions in the first meeting without falling in the friend zone. I can't spit good game. I'm too honest. Please help. Oh, this can be tricky. And I think it also depends on the girl that you're dealing with. Some girls like you to be more straightforward and upfront, and other girls, like that game thing that everybody does and playing hard to get and just being immature. So I don't think there's anything wrong with being honest about what you're looking for. Don't like confess your love to her on the first date, obviously, or tell her that you like her on the first date. You kind of want to leave a little room for imagination, but also make your intentions clear. Like if you had a great time on the first date, at the end of the date, you could tell her like, when can I see you again? Or I would love to see you again. Or I had a really great time, something like that. When I went on my first date with my boyfriend, at the end of the date, he gave me a kiss and then he said, I had a really great time and I can't wait to see you again. And that was perfect. And we've been dating for 3.5 years. So I don't think there's also anything wrong with being upfront as long as you guys are kind of on the same page. Let's see. Can you do some ASMR? Your voice is sweet. I get comments like this all the time, guys, and I don't think I could ever physically make an ASMR video. I think I would feel very awkward. Have you ever seen some of the ASMR videos on YouTube? They are incredibly weird to me. I don't know if I could ever do it, but I'm glad that you guys like my voice because that's important for what I do. Ooh, Courtney, can you do a video on overcoats when fall comes, especially when it comes to colors and maybe how to style it? Yes, fashion in the fall and the winter is my absolute favorite, especially for men. There are so many cool things that you guys can do with your fall and winter wardrobe. So I will definitely be doing videos all about that. I'm actually gonna have a video coming out in the next couple weeks about fall essentials. So maybe I can do more like specific styling videos for like the fall weather and things like that, if that's something that you guys would want to see. What do you think of YouTubers like the Golden One or Elliot Hulse? I've never heard of either one of them, to be totally honest with you. Okay. Oh, I think I missed a couple. Okay. Archival Mars 2, $5. Thank you so much. Don't want to annoy you. Always wondered since you mentioned it in some of your videos, what should a woman bring to the table in relationship? This is a loaded question, and ultimately, I think it depends on what you're looking for in a relationship. You should be looking for someone whose values and life aligns with yours, right? So what one guy might look for might be different than what another guy might be looking for, but I think pretty universally, someone who is supportive, someone who's encouraging, someone who's your biggest cheerleader, someone who is loyal. Um, I mean, I think it's important to be physically attracted to someone, but I think people really, really, really underestimate the power of personality and character and integrity. And I think those are equally as important for you guys to be looking for in women, the same way it's important for women to be looking for that in a man. So you have to look for the qualities that are going to be able to sustain a long-term relationship, because anything can be fun and exciting in the beginning, but it all boils down to your character and your integrity. And I think that's where the long, healthy relationships end up lasting. So it ultimately comes down to whatever you're looking for in a relationship. But those few things I mentioned, I think should be there no matter what, if you're looking for something long term. Okay, Alex Stewart, thank you for the $5. I asked out a girl. She told me to give her some time to figure life out. She just started college and is out of state. It genuinely seems fair. I'm confused. Yeah, that's a very transitional period for people in general. I remember when I went into college, I had been dating a guy for like 2.5, 3 years. And that is a time when I'm not saying to break up with your high school boyfriend if, things are, or girlfriend, if things are going really well, but that's a time when you really learn a lot about yourself and you figure out a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about yourself. And I do think it's important to be alone sometimes and be able to focus on you and learn what you want in a partner, what you want in life, who you want to be. And I think sometimes when you're with someone else, you can learn a lot when you're with someone too, and sometimes people are able to do that together, but I think sometimes also people are not, and you really need that alone time to figure things out. So yeah, I mean, just from what it sounds like, it seems like she's being genuine about the fact that she's probably confused about it too. And she's easing into things. She just moved out of state. She's at a new college. Things are very exciting. Not saying that you're not exciting, but that's just a very, like I said, a transitional period in life. And looking back to when I was in that I mean, I felt the same way too, but I had a long-term boyfriend, but it ended up not working out anyway. So I really wish I was just single in that period so that I would have focused more on my friendships and not like FaceTiming my long distance boyfriend. So I totally get where she's coming from. But there's nothing you can really do, you know? Just focus on you as well. Okay, Shane Norman, thank you for the $5. Is 4 dates with a girl I like too soon to stop dating other girls? No, I would say that's actually probably a really good time to stop dating other people. If you have 4 incredible dates with a girl and you're like, wow, I really want to see where this goes with her, you can't be talking to or sleeping with other girls. I'm so sorry. Evan from Performance Potential talked about this yesterday on Playing with Fire, and he said it perfectly. If you want to see where things are going with this girl, you cannot be messing with other girls, especially 4 or 5, however many dates in to where you really like her. It's time to drop the other ones and really focus on her. So, yeah, I think 4 dates is a totally good time. Um, oh, oh, I missed a bunch. All right. Pros be hating. Thank you for the $9.99. Took the L with trying to date a longtime friend. We're on good terms, but I feel emotionally tired after trying for so long. How do I know when I should jump into the dating game? This would be new to me. I think when something doesn't work out, you can often feel kind of defeated and just exhausted from trying to make things work, especially if it was with a friend. That is like a really hard thing to bounce back from. I think once you maybe not you're not completely healed. Obviously everyone's healing all the way throughout life. It's not like you have to be this perfect healed person in order to get into the dating game or have a relationship, but you should be over that person that you were seeing before, because I don't think it's fair to get into something new when you're still not over the last person. So if you find yourself finally like over her and ready to get back in and wanting to meet new people, excited to meet new people, and you know you're not going to just compare everybody to her, then I think, you know, you kind of know that you're ready. But only you know that. I can't tell you like a specific timeline because it's different for everybody. But I think you want to be over that person before you start like dating anyone else seriously. It can be okay to go out casually, but maybe just not looking for that serious relationship or anything. Okay, Lenny Stanfield, thank you for the $5. Congrats on 204K subscribers. Love your content. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I can't believe I'm already at 204. That's crazy. I just hit 200. Okay, Ben Patana, $5. Thank you so much. Courtney, can you do a video on collar management? Some shirt collars look neat and tidy, and some look terrible and sloppy. How to get them nice? Yeah, I could do more style specific videos. I think I really want to start doing more fashion videos on my channel. I love fashion. It's what I started this channel for in the first place anyway. And my men's fashion videos kind of turned into other things for you guys that I also enjoy. But fashion is like my area of expertise. I went to fashion school. I love fashion. It's something that I really enjoy. So I definitely want to start doing more of those on my channel. So I will keep that in mind for a future video topic. Jake P, thank you for the $9.99. How do you talk to a shy girl that likes you? I catch her looking at me in the gym, being nervous, looking away when I talk to her, knowing my schedule and being close even though she works at the front desk. I mean, those are all really great signs that she's probably into you. That video I did all about how to tell when a woman wants you to approach her is, I mean, all those things are on it. So I think that's a pretty good sign. I think you kind of have to be the extrovert in that situation and put yourself out there. She's going to like the fact that you approach her, and clearly she wants you to approach her. So there's nothing to be shy about. Yeah, a lot of girls are shy and they won't approach you anyway. So you really just have to put yourself out there. Don't be nervous. Okay, Nathan Veets, thank you for the $4.99. What are your thoughts on a girl who tells you she'll never date again after being divorced, but then gets closer with a different guy instead? Well, it means that she just didn't want to date you, and she was trying to let you down easy by telling you that. And I don't agree with it, and I wish that people would just be honest. It would be much better if she just said, I'm not looking for anything serious with you. That way you didn't have to sit there and wonder and feel the need to ask a question, right? Like, you're obviously confused about it. So if she would have just been honest, you wouldn't be in this situation. So yeah, unfortunately, I think it means that she probably just didn't want to date you, which is sad, and I'm sorry that you're going through that. But yeah, I wish people could just be more honest and upfront. The world would be a much better place if that was the case. Sadly, it is not. Oh gosh, let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm like totally lost in this chat. Sorry, guys. I got it. Okay, the Jesting Joker, thank you for the $5. Hi, Courtney. Is my sweet honey bunches of oats an appropriate pet name for a girlfriend or wife, in your opinion? Oh, you're the one that asked about the rabbit last time. I remember you. And then we told you to call her Bunny because that's cute. I mean, if you want to have pet names with your significant other, that's totally up to you. I think that's very specific to you and your relationship. I don't do the pet names, but my sweet honey bunches of oats sounds pretty warm and inviting to me. So totally up to you. Okay, Kamal Chaya. I hope I said that right. Thank you for the $5. How much does a man's ethnicity affect his dating prospects, especially if he's attracted to people that aren't his own ethnicity? I think it matters a lot less now than it used to. I know some cultures are still kind of strict about that, but I do think it's less important now than it used to be. And I think people now are more open to that than ever before, which is amazing. I don't think you need to worry about it. If you are a good guy that has a lot to bring to the table, you're the whole package, you've got it going on, you have nothing to worry about. And from your profile picture, you look like you're doing just fine. So let's see, did I answer your full question? Oh, but also some girls might be still kind of picky about that. I mean, it really ultimately depends on the girl. That's not something that I would care about necessarily, but some girls might, like anything else, like height, weight, whatever it is. There are people out there that care. Unfortunately, that's just the way that it is. But if those girls care, then they aren't for you anyway. Okay, Mountain Spirit, thank you for the $9.99. You are the sister I wish I had. Thank you. I'm an only child, so I always wanted to be a sister, and I think maybe that's why I'm so good at this, is because I like always wanted to be a big sister. But I'm like living vicariously through all of you guys. In relationships, will a woman keep asking herself whether she can do better if she can find a better candidate? Is this common? Ooh, yeah, maybe not a long time ago, but now, if I'm being totally honest, I think this is a problem because of the fact that women have so many. There's like a fly in here, sorry. Women have so many options. There have been studies done that show when you have more options, you're less happy about the one that you choose. And I think it was with like hot sauce or different honeys or something, but I think it's still true for people in your life as well because that's a much bigger decision. So I do think the influx of options has really affected, you know, how happy a woman is with her choice, and she might be trying to look for better. And that's why it's also important when you're in a relationship to keep things fun and make sure things are going well and you guys aren't getting complacent or lazy or too comfortable. Of course, you want to be comfortable with the person that you're with, but you don't want to get so complacent where neither one of you like each other anymore. I think it's important to keep your relationship fresh and romantic and keep dating each other too. So I'm going to be doing a whole video about that that's coming out, I think, next week. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I definitely think that's the sad reality, unfortunately. What do they call it? Hypergamy, I think, is what people in the manosphere call it. Okay, Jason Macedo, probably butchering that. Thank you for the $4.99. Hey, Courtney, I don't know how to talk to girls during my lectures when they purposely sit next to me. What do I do or say? What do I do or say or do? You have to get over that nervousness because you have to realize that they're a person. They're just a human being, just like you. There's no need to like treat them like they're the Queen of England. I think you really just have to get comfortable and make it natural. So bring up something that's going on in the lecture, something you guys are working on at the moment. You just really want to make it flow with whatever's going on. That's going to make the conversation flow naturally and make things less awkward for someone that has a hard time keeping the conversation going. But if she sat next to you, she probably wouldn't mind talking to you. You obviously looked inviting and welcoming enough for her to sit next to you, which is a big deal because I even remember being in like lectures in school, and I was obviously in fashion school, so most of my lecturers were women, but you like scope out the entire room before you sit next to somebody because you're like, oh my gosh, what if they talk to me? So maybe she's hoping that you do talk to her. Jake P, thank you for the $4.99. How do I get over my ex? It's been 3 years and I still feel bitter on how it ended. I thought time and keeping myself busy would help, but it feels fresh. Unfortunately, I think that's the case for a lot of people who immediately go into keeping themselves busy instead of genuinely feeling those feelings and acknowledging that they feel that way. So it's really important to give yourself time to heal and understand why you're feeling that way. I think that's crucial for getting over someone. Let yourself feel those things, have a little pity party for a second, but then you have to get up. And if you never experience that, you never really get up because you never acknowledge that you feel sad about it, right? So it's very normal to feel that way. I mean, even some other guys have asked me already in this chat, um, the same questions. So it's a normal feeling. I did a whole video, I already mentioned it, on how to get over her, and I think you should check that out. But ultimately, you have to come to grips with the fact that your relationship is over. There's no need to feel bitter about it. Just because that girl did something to you or it ended a certain way with her does not mean that it's going to end a certain way with another girl, or another girl is going to do the same things that she did to you. So don't go in with that bitter attitude. It's only going to hold you back and keep you from meeting someone that could potentially be an amazing match for you. So you're only holding yourself back by feeling that way. And it's hard to get over someone. I get it. I've been there. Let's see. Okay. Has the porn industry changed the way dating is today? Maybe. I mean, I think porn definitely affects the way that men view women. I think it affects the way some women view men. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's done the dating world any favors, for sure. I think OnlyFans has also affected a lot because a lot of guys don't want to date a girl that does that kind of stuff. So who knows? You guys are so funny. She rejected me and she told that to a lot of people. Why? To get some sort of validation or to feel good about herself. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. There's nothing to brag about for rejecting someone. I think that makes you look stupid. Sounds like you dodged a bullet to me. What is your love language, and would you say it's based on what you got or didn't get as a kid? That is a great question, and actually, I think love languages are so interesting, and it's incredibly true. You might feel love a certain way, but your partner might feel it a completely different way. If you guys don't know, the 5 love languages are acts of service, gifts, physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. I don't really know which I mean, I think physical touch is important for me. I'm always, like, very hands-on. Um, I like hugs and kisses and all that, like, physical affection type thing. But I got that as a kid, so I don't necessarily think it's based off of what I didn't get. I think I probably like that because, my mom was always hugging me and everything. So, I mean, I think I'm kind of all of them. I think gifts are least important to me. Acts of service are okay. I would say physical touch and quality time are probably my top 2. Yeah, when you're dating someone, I think it is important to know your partner's love language so that you can make sure that, they're feeling loved too, because not everyone feels loved the same way. Um, do you think women are intimidated by intense personalities? It depends on the woman. I think that's very um, up to the individual. Courtney, what do you think of tattoos? I like tattoos. I used to hate them so much so to the fact that my boyfriend at the time got a bunch of tattoos, and didn't tell me, and then like revealed them to me after he had gotten them, and I was so upset. I think I cried. I'm not kidding. I was like, "You ruined your perfect skin." But that was when I was like 20 and I like hated tattoos, but now I don't mind them. I think they look really cool on certain people. As long as you go to someone good, a bad tattoo is a bad tattoo. Okay, Lanny Stanfield, thank you for the $5. I'm going on a date with a girl, but there's a girl in my class who's into me. Both are smart and driven. What should I do? I think you can go on that date with that girl and then, see how things go with her. And you could also go out with the girl that's in your class. Just because you go on a date with her doesn't mean you're engaged. I mean, you can, date around until you really start to like someone or go on a couple dates with someone and feel things out. I don't think you should put all your eggs in one basket. And by that, I don't mean date 20 girls at once and cheat on all your girlfriends. That's not what I mean. I just mean keep your options open and don't limit yourself so early on before you've even gone on a date. The Jesting Joker, thank you for the $10. Hi, Courtney. Just so you know, because you should if you don't, same goes for all the people listening. You are the definition of a lady, and I love you in a completely platonic way, of course. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys are so sweet. Wayne Randalls, thank you for the $7.99. When this coronavirus ends, I think there's going to be a baby boom. Yes, even last year, from the quarantine that happened last year, so many people had babies today. I follow so many celebrities and influencers on Instagram that had babies all around the same time. So that was really interesting. Oh my gosh, my friend Isaac Smiley. Isaac is my friend from high school. He's like my closest guy friend that I kept in touch with from high school. Thank you for the $4.99. He says, what's your opinion on guys who grow plants? Asking for a friend. He's also the one I mentioned in my last live stream that has the dog and has told me that having a dog has made him like a total chick magnet. Like girls are coming up to him all the time and it's easier to start a conversation. It's a great icebreaker. So having a dog is a great thing too. I think growing plants is a great sign that a guy can keep something alive besides himself. There are some guys who legitimately can't even take care of themselves, and I think that's a big turnoff to a lot of girls because, I don't mind cooking you dinner, I don't mind cleaning for you, but I don't want to feel like your mom. And if I feel like your mom, it's not going to work out. And I think a lot of girls feel that way too. So if you're a guy who can cook for himself, who can take care of a dog, who can grow his own plants, you've got it going on. And girls are going to like that. I know it seems silly, but it's very true. Okay, Fabian Valdez, thank you for the $4.99. My friend is hard to read, confused on her interests. She initiates but also ignores me at times. How do I tell her I like her without making it weird? Is she your friend or is she your friend? You put it in quotes, so have you like hooked up or have you you said how do I tell her I like her without making it weird? So maybe she doesn't know that you like her. I think I would have to know more about your situation, but also the fact that she's initiating with you, I think is a really good sign. Normally, if you're the one that's always initiating and she's not really giving you anything in return, then that can be a bad sign for you. But if she's initiating, but then she's also ignoring you, so I really don't know. I think I would need a little bit more context. But ultimately, whenever you have a friend and you try to cross that point, it's either going to be awkward and the friendship might end, or it will work out and you guys will date or whatever. So it's like either way you go, you're making a huge decision. So definitely think about it before you initiate that. Abelardo Valeda, I butchered that again. Thank you for the $5. Hi, your video really helped me so much. Thank you. You're so welcome. I'm so happy to help. The Jesting Joker, thank you for the $5. Hi, Courtney. Why do girls love me so much? Is it the scars? You know what's funny? I saw a TikTok the other day and a guy was getting a tattoo of a scar on his eye. And everybody was roasting him in the comment section. So I think girls are maybe attracted to guys that have some like battle wounds that have been through life or, show a little bit of resilience. I don't know. But don't be the guy that gets a tattoo that looks like a scar because that's really lame. Phil M Stud 2K, thank you for the $9.99. Thoughts on using Tinder versus meeting women in the wild? Getting 0 matches tears down my self-esteem. I've always had more attention and action in person, or should I work on improving my profile? If you're better in person, stick to in person, because I think that ultimately gets you more results anyway. I think, again, like I mentioned a million times already, dating online for men is very difficult. Girls get way more matches. It's just so much easier for women online. So not to say that there aren't challenges that women face as well, because there are different challenges, but just getting the matches in general is way harder for men. So yeah, I would just work honestly on the in-person stuff. That's better anyway. Courtney is on TikTok. Yeah, normally when I get on TikTok now, I'm strictly looking for content, like videos to react to or to put into my videos. I was like addicted at one point, and I had to really take a step back and be like, you are wasting so much time on this app, girlfriend. Get a life. And I'm sure a lot of people felt that way too. So yeah, I should probably delete it, honestly. Hey Courtney, have you seen the new Spider-Man trailer? No, but I love Tom Holland. Everyone says my boyfriend looks just like Tom Holland, so I guess it makes sense. I'm really excited to see that movie. I have not seen the trailer. Oh boy, the jesting joker, $5. Thank you. Hi Courtney, I like to kiss girls on the forehead and tell them that they are my property and that I will protect them till the end of time. Thoughts? The fact that you'll protect them is great. I don't necessarily know if they respond well to you telling them that they're your property. I would probably not like that. And I'm pretty traditional, so I don't know if I like that. But whatever works for you. I would not suggest it, but that's all you, buddy. What do you think of Lauren Chen? You know what? I've seen her pop up in my timeline before, but I've never actually watched one of her videos. I've had some people recommend her to me, so I might do a reaction video to her. She seems really popular on YouTube, so I will definitely check them out. Someone said this guy's trolling. Yeah, that's what it seems like. I mean, his username is the Jesting Joker, so I assume. Can you collab with Demi Rowling again? I've actually never collabed with Demi Rowling, but I really like her channel. She does great fragrance reviews, and I think she is like stunning. She's so pretty. What's your favorite type of comedy? I'm trying to think of some people I like to watch. I like Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle. Who else? Oh, what's that guy's name? He just did that documentary on Netflix. Bo Burnham. Yeah, I think I like him a lot. He's just really talented. He's entertaining to me, but I think he's funny. What does Courtney search for on YouTube in her downtime? You guys, I end up on some weird things on YouTube. Sometimes I'll be watching like animal videos, like ocean videos. I'm terrified of the ocean, so sometimes I'll like look up videos about that, which probably doesn't help the fact that I'm terrified. I like to watch like baking videos of like people making cakes. I've been really into that lately. What else? I don't really watch a ton of YouTube when I'm not creating content or posting because it takes up so much of my time. I really want to try to be on my phone less and to do more like in-person things, like working out more, reading, things that don't involve my phone. I think my phone takes up a lot of my time. I don't really like that about myself, so I'm trying to work on that. Yeah, I watch some very odd things on YouTube. It's a very strange place to be. Courtney, would you rather date a guy that works 70 hours a week and makes bank, or a guy that works 40 hours a week with modest income to spend more time with you? I think having a balance is incredibly important. I think a lot of girls go into dating saying they want to be with a millionaire, but then don't understand the time and effort that takes from that person and how little time they will have to spend with you. So I think that's something that girls are totally, they don't even know what they're getting into when they do that. And they have very unrealistic expectations. So yeah, I think it's all about a balance. I think spending quality time with someone is incredibly important. So that would be important to me. And I make my own money. I don't need someone that makes, billions of dollars or works 70 hours a week. Um, Coach Swissy, thank you for the $9.99. I love your videos and scars do rock. I'm full of scars and I always hated them. Now I appreciate them. Exactly. I think that's important. Just embrace what you have, It's what makes me who I am. Women like scars. They are great icebreakers. Huge fan of yours. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And that is actually a really good point. I mean, if you have a huge scar on your face, that's probably one of the first things that gets brought up. And then you get to tell a super cool story about what happened to you. And even if it's not that cool, you could pretend it's cool. Um, Sorish Athavale. Thank you for the $9.99. Is it a good idea to approach girls at the gym? Could you please explain in detail? This one is impossible for me to give a correct answer because some girls like it, some girls don't. Some girls say, do not ever approach me at the gym no matter what. Other girls say, I don't care if you approach me at the gym, I would happily take a compliment and it would be flattering. I am on that end. I've been approached at the gym before and I have no issue with it. I would just say if you're going to approach a girl at the gym, you really want to read body language. If she's not into it, don't try to force it. If she's made eye contact with you, if she goes to the gym around the same time as you, if she like works out next to you, I think those are all really good signs. But definitely be able to read the room and read her body language and understand if she is into it or not. I'll tell you, when I had the guy approach me at the gym, I was on the treadmill and he was like about to leave the gym and he came up to me on the treadmill while I was working out and he said, I'm so sorry to interrupt your workout, but I cannot leave this gym without knowing your name. It was perfect. I gave him my name, I gave him my number. We ended up talking for a little bit and we ended up being really good friends. Didn't work out. The timing was always off, but I liked the boldness and the confidence of him approaching me and I think he said the perfect thing. So there's no harm in it, again, depending on the girl. And I think we had been making like eye contact, and I mean, he could probably tell that I was interested. Isaac, thank you for the $4.99. He said, Courtney and I are only friends because we both like Dave Chappelle and I like hanging out with her mom and dad. My mom and dad love Isaac. We used to hang out all the time in high school and like we went on a spring break and like my parents were there and it was me and all my friends and we just all had the best time. My mom and dad are awesome. She wouldn't have given her name if he was ugly. I think initial attraction is important. I think it's important to be, I think attraction is important. So, yeah, you're probably right. If I wasn't interested in him, if he didn't have a good personality to make up for the fact that he wasn't as attractive, then yeah, probably not. Trash A, thank you for the $4.99. Me and a girl have not been talking after we slept together. Only cuddles. She has a boyfriend and was with him the days after that. She texts a lot usually. That is a yikes scenario through and through. She has a boyfriend and she slept with you, so that's a huge red flag. Do not pursue this girl. Do not go after a relationship with this girl. Bad news. This is red flag city. Oh, I got one from a girl. It says, I'm probably one of the only women here, but I just want to say I really appreciate your style. And though I don't always agree with you, I'm glad to know there are still some classy ladies out there. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you know what? We don't have to agree on everything to be friends. I think it's important to have things you disagree on. There's not one person that has all the answers, that knows everything, that is 100% right all the time. We can have different opinions and still be good to go. So thank you. I appreciate that. Is it possible to get an ex back if she blocked me everywhere? I would need to know what happened, why she blocked you. I would need to know more about the situation. Um, let's see. How can a nice guy turn into a bad boy? I don't even like the terms nice guy and bad boy because I think everyone kind of has a different idea of what they are. To me, in my head, a bad boy is someone who is going to ruin my life and make me miserable. Um, and a nice guy is someone who treats me right and respects me. So I know that people view that differently. If you're saying you want to respect yourself, I think that's a great place to start. I think putting work into yourself, being the best you can be, and respecting yourself and your boundaries is a great first step. But I hate the little labels on everything. I think it makes things very confusing. Um, Reaction video about Tim Desant. I love his fashion style. I really like his channel too. I think he has great style. I've only watched like probably one or two of his videos, but I see him on Instagram all the time and he has great style. So maybe I'll react to him. Um, you should take the Myers Briggs personality type test. I'm curious to see what you are. I'm an INTJA. I took it once or twice. I think I took it twice. And once, I think I need to like really sit down and focus on my answers because I think I was kind of rushing through. I've gotten INTJ and INFJ. And I don't remember what the little dash thing was, but I would have to do it again. Maybe I'll do a video about that. Um, what's a book that recently caught your attention and why? A book that I haven't read yet, but is on my list is Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel, I think is her name. I saw it. Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy actually posted it on Instagram, so I was like, that's interesting. And people had really great response to it and really seemed to enjoy it. So I think I want to read that next. Someone says, you're most definitely an ISTJ, in my opinion. Online tests are pretty inaccurate. Good to know. Yeah, I don't know the difference. I don't even know what ISTJ is. I need to really look into that a little bit more. What is the average girl's opinion on guys in the military or vets? I think it depends on the girl again specifically, and the lifestyle. I dated a guy in the military. It was my high school boyfriend, and then he was a year older than me. And then after high school, I went to college, but he went into the Marines. And long distance was very hard for me, and I wasn't at the point where I wanted to like get married or like move with him or whatever because I was in college and I knew I wanted to be there for 4 years. So it was incredibly difficult and I would not do it again. I think there's also a huge lifestyle commitment that comes along with that. So if a girl's up for that, that's great, but I really do think it's specific on the girl. Did you see Playing with Fire's latest video about you? Yes. I haven't I saw it on his page. I haven't got to watch it yet. So I'm gonna watch it actually after I get off here. You said it seems like you're a great role model for him and lots of men. That's good to hear. I'm so happy about that. I hope the response to that was positive on his video. Ryan Cunningham, thank you for the $1.99. I appreciate it. Are the women in the videos your friends? You seem to not know Lena that well. Some of them are my friends. Some of them are people that like my editor producer knows, like previous relationships with them. So he not like romantic relationships, but knows them from past things. So he reached out to them and they came. And now I would consider us like friends, and I would have them in future videos. Of course, not everyone. It depends on who you're asking about. Lena and I don't like hang out, but she's in all my videos, and I love talking to her when she comes on. Um, I hung out with Shaylee yesterday. Hanging out with Laura next week. Maria is my friend I met on Instagram. So it just depends. Some of them, yes, some of them, no. Do you have a Rolex? No, I do not have a Rolex. Hey, Courtney, would you consider making a video for us introverts out there? Yes, that is on my list. I will be doing that at some point. I know it's a struggle. I'm right there with you. Do you watch Teaching Men's Fashion? I've seen some of his videos before. I've reacted to him before. I really liked everything I saw from him. He seems like a good guy, and his wife is really pretty. I know that sounds like superficial, but when I see a guy giving advice to other guys that has a successful marriage, he has a baby, he has a beautiful wife, like you just assume that they're the better people to get advice from. Like I would never take advice from a bitter guy that was single on how to get a girlfriend. So strange. Joseph Jones, thank you for the $2. Goals without plans. Goals without plans of steps is just a dream. That is true. You have to be able to put in the work and know what you need to do to get there, or it will always just be a dream. Best piercing for guys. Personally, I don't like piercings on guys. I think the only thing that would be like okay, I guess, for me would be an earring, maybe. Teddy's dad has his ear pierced, and I think he looks cool, but I don't know. Normally, whenever I see a guy with his ears pierced, I just assume he's like an F boy that would try to ruin my life. So I'm not into it. Let's see. Any other questions? Are any of my friends single? Shaylee has a boyfriend. Maria has a boyfriend. Lena is, we don't know. Laura's single. Who else? Hallie. Hallie is single. Oh, I love Hallie too. I forgot. She was in my last videos too. What is your height? I'm 5'5". Are back braces the new hottest fashion trend? Getting one next week. That's funny. I hope your back is okay. I had to wear a back brace in high school because I fractured my spine and I have scoliosis. So I was like all jacked up. And I had to wear a back brace and everyone made fun of me. It was really not a fun time, but I hope that your experience goes better than mine. Maybe we'll make back braces trendy. I'll have them on the channel. Do you work out? If you don't, what kind of workouts do you do? Yeah, I used to work out a lot, probably like every day, every other day. But ever since I moved, I've been really just out of my routine, to be totally honest. So that's something I'm trying to really focus on getting back into. In the summertime, I like to go on walks outside. So I've been doing that sometimes. But I also don't like to walk outside by myself. So I only go when my boyfriend can go with me. So that's kind of limiting. I'm just like too nervous and anxious to go out like on walks in the city by myself. It scares me. So sometimes I'll work out. Our apartment has like a gym, so I'll go down there and walk on an incline or run a couple miles or a mile or whatever, depending on what else I'm doing. I really like Pilates. I've been doing that. Sometimes I'll lift weights. I normally lift pretty light weights. I was lifting heavy weights last year when I was going to Orange Theory. I started lifting a little bit heavier and I felt like I was getting a little bit too bulky and I don't like to look like that. I like to be like very lean. So that's something that I need to start doing a little bit more. But I really like workout classes. Let me know if you guys have ever gone to a workout class that you like that's like a chain or something. Orange Theory was good. It just after a while I plateaued and I felt like I was bulking up because I was burning like 600 calories a class and then I was eating way more. It was just not the right workout for me at all. Tabilin TV, thank you for the $4.99. What do you think about red pill content? Do you think it's needed for men in society today? Shout me out. You got your shout out. Thank you for the $4.99. I think there's a time and place for red pill content. I think it can help men really see some things that they might be missing. And I think that it can be beneficial for men. But I think it's important to not be so narrow minded and like a certain way of thinking, like black pill, red pill, blue pill, whatever, however many pills there are. It's all so strange to me. But yeah, not be so narrow minded. I think taking what you need from each little area of the internet can be helpful, but not to get so like hyper fixated on one specific thing because nobody has all the answers. I think you got to take what you need from each person. Like what I can give you and what playing with fire can give you is probably different. I don't do pickup. I don't know how to like pick up a girl, as good as he does. So you just take what you need from each person. Which state do you live in? I live in Ohio. Try title boxing. You will like it. I've actually had some people tell me they really like to box, so maybe I'll try that out. I feel like I would be really bad at boxing. I can't even picture myself doing it, but maybe I should get out of my comfort zone a little bit. Zumba. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so bad at dancing. I wish I was a good dancer. I'm horrible. But it's about the workout, not the rhythm, right? Um Would you ever have girls react to dating advice like alpha male strategies? Yeah, I think that would be a really good video because I do the reactions, but it would be interesting to see like what my friends think about different channels. Um, Ernest Ramirez, thank you for the $5. Thank you for being our wing to all of us. You are very well spoken and really know how to get the point across. You have a nice voice. Could you sing? Thank you. I appreciate it. You're hyping me up. Um, I don't really sing because I feel like I'm not very good. I will sing as a joke sometimes, and I think if you asked my boyfriend, he would say that I'm not very good. So probably not. I'm glad I have a nice voice, but I don't know if that will translate very well to a singing voice, unfortunately. But again, I've never really tried, I guess. Do you play slash watch sports? I don't play any sports now. When I was in high school, I did cheerleading and then like competitive cheerleading, gymnastics. I ran track for like a hot second and then I quit because I got tendonitis in my toe. It was like the dumbest thing ever. Um, and do I watch any sports? Sometimes I'll watch UFC if that's on. Did you guys watch the Jake Paul fight last week? That was wild. That's really the only thing I'll watch. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't really watch any other sports. I'm not like I know this might break your hearts. I'm not a football fan. I don't like baseball. Basketball can be kind of interesting sometimes. I just get so bored. Like, I don't want to sit and watch a 4-hour football game unless there's good snacks involved. Like, if it's a party with snacks, I'll go. Let's see. What do you think about ads from dating experts who have magic solutions for all your dating problems? I personally don't trust them. I mean, I think a lot of times ads and titles and captions and all that are really just to grab your attention. So I wouldn't look too much into it, but I think when people are doing things consistently where they're like telling you if you say this specific thing, you'll win her over, or they actually need to buy a course or what else? Like just spend a ton of money for them to help you. Like I think you guys need to be very wary and cautious of where you're getting your information from. And I think often um, people who sell courses, I've seen people react to courses or like buy a course and then make a video about it. And it was like the worst thing ever. And they charge like $2,000 or $200 or a crazy amount of money for a course that is literally information you could find on the internet. So I don't necessarily think that that's the best thing. Just be careful where you're getting your information from. Um, Courtney, it's always good to sing in the shower. I don't think my neighbors would like that very much. I'm sure my neighbors in my apartment building are happy that I don't sing in the shower. But I will say, my one neighbor on the one side of me is like a professional violin player or something. I've never met him, but I hear him playing violin literally all day, and it's like free music. It's so relaxing. It's amazing. I don't think he would feel the same way about my singing, though, unfortunately. Oh, people are talking about Taylor the Fiend is a catfish. Yeah, not a fan of that channel. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. I think it's a man, but he doesn't show his face and he makes really mean, awful videos. Channels like that are the most pitiful, cowardly channels on the internet. Do not follow people like that, guys. It might be entertaining, but don't take anything they say seriously. Like, I'm not even trying to put anybody on blast right now, but he made a video about me. I didn't even get all the way through. People were DMing it to me on Instagram. Anyone who has a channel with no that never shows their face or like some animated profile picture, absolutely not. Besides like based Zeus because he shows who he actually is now, and I think he's funny. Keanu Taylor, thank you for the $4.99. Should men wait until 30 to get married or in a committed relationship? I don't like to put a time frame on things because I think a time frame often makes you panic. Or just makes you feel like you need to be at a certain place. I don't think there's any specific time that a man should get married. I think if you meet a great girl and you want to settle down with her, that's fine. I don't really think it matters how old you are. Some people get married when they're 25 or 40, whatever works for you. Everybody's different. So yeah, whatever works for you. I don't think there's any specific time or place. I think society kind of makes us think, and social media and just being bombarded by everyone's lives all the time makes us think that we need to follow a certain path or all be on the same timeline. And that could not be farther from the truth. All of our lives are incredibly different. We're all on different paths and journeys. So stick to yours and do what works for you. Oh, and the second part of your question, what was it? Also, opinion on race preference. I don't have a race preference. I I mean, I guess some people do, but I don't really have anything to say about it because I'm not like that. So I don't know. I think it's kind of silly in 2021 people have a race preference. Did I miss any? Oh yeah, I did. Ryan Cunningham, thank you for the $1.99. Is it a benefit for a guy to have female friends? Yeah, I think it is beneficial. I mean, you learn a lot about the opposite sex. I think that's one reason why I was so understanding of the things that men go through as well, because I have guy friends that tell me about the messed up stuff that they've gone through and dealt with. So it was beneficial for me. It's beneficial for my channel and my life. So I can imagine that it would be beneficial for you as well. As long as you keep it platonic and you're not like sexually involved with her or romantically interested in her. I think that's where things get a little bit muddy. And that's why people say men and women can't be friends. And I think that can be true if there is like an attraction or interest on one side but not the other. Okay, TK Moffitt, thank you for the $10. Just want to say thank you for all you do. As a gentleman, this channel helped me remember the little things and why we're actually out here trying to improve ourselves as men. I appreciate you. You guys are going to make me cry. That makes me so happy. I'm so glad to help. When I get messages like that, I can't even explain the level of happiness that I feel. It's just wild. I'm so glad. G Stewart 0770. Thank you so much for the $50. Oh my goodness, you are so nice. Just because you are awesome and help so many people. Thank you. Oh, you guys are gonna make me cry. Okay, 2 billion TV. 2 billion TV. Thank you for the $4.99. Were you a feminist at any point in your life? And what's your opinion on being submissive to your man? Feminism, and asking that question is tricky because I think there is kind of a misconception about feminism and also what it used to be versus what it is now. I'm not going to get super into this because I will probably make a video about it at some point. But the original point of feminism was for women to have options and rights and be able to do things that they weren't allowed to do. And I think that's incredible. And I think women should be allowed to do everything that men are allowed to do. However, the problem that I have now is feminists looking down on women who don't choose to work for their life, who don't get fulfillment out of their job, and who want to be a traditional stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife or whatever it might be. I think feminism should be about encouraging other women to do what makes them happy, and not about putting other women down for the choices they make if they're different than yours. So that is the issue that I have with modern feminism. And people thinking you're a pick-me girl for not wanting to like work or not agree with every woman on the planet. It's just insane to me. So I don't know. I mean, that's a loaded question. But I do think what feminism was and what it is turning into and what it is very different. And I don't really like the way it's going. But I think it's great that women have equal opportunities and can do all the things that men do. But yeah, I just don't like the fact that they sometimes judge other women who don't want the same things as them. That's where I have a problem. And what is your opinion on being submissive to your man? So submissive is a scary word for women. I think women hear that and they're like, I don't want to be submissive. I don't want someone to tell me what to do all the time. I'm not a dog. And that is not what being submissive is. I think being submissive is about trusting the person that you're with to make good decisions. Of course, your opinion matters and it should be valued. But like when I get married, I want to be able to trust my partner to make important decisions, to include me, but to know what is right and for me to be able to trust them. And I think that's what being submissive actually is versus what people make it out to be. I think people hear that word and instantly get very offended and defensive. And I don't think that's really what it is. I think it's just trusting the person that you're with to be a good leader and make good decisions for you and for your family. And of course, a good leader will take into consideration the way that you feel and what your opinion is as well. Um, when a baby face works for a guy, I don't have a strong jawline, but honestly, I like my face better with a clean shave. If you like your face better with a clean shave, you rock that clean shave. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I love when my boyfriend shaves his face. I kind of like that little baby face thing sometimes. It depends on the girl. I mean, I think you should do what you like and what is comfortable for you, but again, it just depends on the girl, what she likes. I think there was a study done that I read that said, actually, I know there was a study done, I've read it. It said that women like guys with stubble the most. So that was interesting to me. So if you can't grow a ton of facial hair, don't worry about it. Um, oh, this is a good point. Also, modern feminism has turned into man hating, and I hate that. I hate that too. I really don't like that. I don't like the extreme on either side. I think it's important to hold each other accountable and to be able to see faults on both sides, men and women. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. And when you try to blame an entire gender, I mean, nothing positive comes out of that. You can be independent and a lovely girl without hating a man. Yeah, it's totally true. Very true. Oh, Ason85 Iffy, thank you for I don't even know if I said that right, but thank you for the 1999. Can we get your reaction to one of Wheat Waffles channel videos? Also, thanks for the great content. Yeah, I've never watched one of their videos. I think it's something kind of like Taylor the Fiend, where it's like not a real person. I saw some backlash and controversy about that channel. So I'll have to check it out, but I've never watched their content. But from what I've read about it, it's not great. Is it unattractive when guys use emojis? No, not at all. I don't think so. Oh, someone asked a super chat message that I missed. Let me go back up. I'm so sorry. Oh, Claudio, thank you for the $10. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, I don't see where I missed it. Oh, someone's Wayne Randalls, thank you for the $14.99. Courtney, I joke around too much. Is that annoying to a girl? Just saying. No, I think joking around is fun as long as you know the time and place for it. As long as you have a little bit of a serious side too. Navjal Singh. No, I don't know how to say that. I'm so sorry. Thank you for the $4. Thoughts on dating someone of a different religion? Again, it depends on how important religion is in your life. If you are like incredibly Christian, very passionate, you go to church a couple times a week, I think it's important to date someone who's on the same page as you. If you're someone who doesn't really care about religion, maybe you go to church on Easter and Christmas and that's it, then maybe it might not be a big deal. I mean, I think it really depends on, how into religion you are. And I know, however much you go to church doesn't necessarily reflect that, but it just depends on you and your relationship. But I think it's important to be in alignment. Oh, okay. Sorish, I found your message. Thank you for the $4.99. What are your thoughts on Jordan Peterson? Which other male intellectuals do you listen to or like in general? I love Jordan Peterson. I have listened to a pretty good amount of his stuff. I follow him on Instagram and I really like him. I don't know if I agree with him on necessarily everything because I haven't watched all of his content or read all his books. I want to read his books. If you guys have read them, let me know if you like them below. So yeah, I really like Jordan Peterson. What other male intellectuals? I'm trying to think. I follow this one account on Instagram. I forget what the name is. I'll have to figure it out and let you guys know. But I really like him. Evan from Performance Potential from TikTok. I really like him. He has his content that is like the male version of me, pretty much. Like we're in alignment on a lot of things, which I like because he gives very healthy, helpful advice for getting into a like healthy relationship with a girl, sustaining it, keeping things healthy, and just really just being a good person, which I like people who make content like that. I don't like the toxic stuff, which is what a lot of TikTok is. Not all of TikTok, but a lot of TikTok. So I really like him. The roommates, I really like the roommates. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to think about it. I'm so sorry if I'm missing these. I had to scroll up pretty far to find that, so I'm like out of place now. Oh, okay. Jake P, thank you for the $9.99. Why would a shy girl ignore you if she likes you? Her friend said she likes me. I asked her to hang out via text, but no response. Was I too direct that it scared her, or was she playing hard to get? She might honestly be nervous, and maybe she's afraid of failure or rejection. She might just be really introverted and afraid to put herself out there. So it could be a mix of things, but you would think if you reached out to her, even if she is shy, she would take the bite a little bit. So maybe she is playing hard to get. Maybe her friends told her she needs to do that. There is so much bad advice for women on the internet. I wish more women would watch my channel and understand that you don't need to do that. So it could be a mix of things. Sorority of Men, thank you for the $4.99. Do you prefer real masculine men or simps? I mean, that's kind of a silly question. I like to be with someone that I'm compatible with. I would not consider my boyfriend a simp. He's sweet to me and is respectful and does nice things for me. He's a great, wonderful guy. I could not ask for anyone better. And he's masculine. He is direct. He takes control of situations. He can lead a group of people. He's smart. He's handsome. He's everything I want in a person. So if you want to know what I prefer, just look at my boyfriend. Okay. Jake, did I miss any other ones? Do you know? Okay. Someone once told me to never trust a girl with two first names. Courtney Ryan, that's rough. That is rough. Could you do a video talking about dating for guys in the military? Ooh, that's a good one. My friend Isaac is actually in the military, so maybe I could have him come on and we could do something together where he gives you guys advice because he would know better than anybody. And I've heard some stories he's told me. Wild. Okay, Lanny Stanfield, thank you for the $5. If you see a girl is having a wardrobe malfunction and is somewhat exposed, is there a way of telling her politely or is it better to ignore it? No, I would absolutely tell her. Oh my gosh, if I had my skirt tucked into my underwear or something and my whole butt cheek was out in public, I would be mortified. And I would love if he would come up to me and just be like, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you, but your skirt is up or something like that. Like, she will appreciate it, I promise. It's even worse if you just look at her and let her go. That's like, oh, it's like throwing her to the wolves. It's awful. Um, um, you guys are funny. It's like you guys argue in the comments. I'm like, what the heck is going on? What is the best and most attractive thing about a guy, if you don't mind me asking? Ooh, I just did a whole video about this, and I have to say integrity. I think there are so many important character traits that go under integrity, that ultimately make the best type of man possible. I don't want a guy who has a hot head and argues with people all the time and can't keep his cool, and is just not a good guy. So I think integrity is like the number one thing for me, and just being authentic and being a good person. That's character wise. Most attractive physically, I don't know. I think being in good shape is attractive, not necessarily being ripped or being the most, buff guy in the world. I don't really think that matters for me, but just taking care of yourself, living an active lifestyle, being healthy, just being, fit. Um, oh, someone said, wow, you are still going after 2 hours. Congrats on 200K. I didn't even realize it had been over 2 hours. It goes by so quick when you're answering questions. Thank you. I'll probably end soon. My voice is getting kind of raspy. I sound like a smoker. Um, any advice for high schoolers to stop caring about relationships so much? Yeah, take it from someone who was in a serious relationship all of high school. Going back, would not do it again. I mean, I don't regret it because ultimately it led me to where I'm at today, but oh my God, what a waste of time. If I could go back and tell my 16-year-old self, Courtney, he cheats on you like 5 times and it's miserable and it doesn't work out anyway. I would much rather spend that time focusing on school. I mean, I did well in school, so I still had a fine time with that. But really, hanging out with my friends a lot more. Um, yeah, just focus on high school. High school is so fun. You have the rest of your life to be in a relationship. There's no need to put so much pressure on yourself when you're so young. It's so silly. Some people end up being with their high school sweethearts. I know some that work out, but it's not for everyone. It was not for me. What do you like about Call Her Daddy? I will say that used to be the most toxic podcast in the world. I would, I'm being very vulnerable here. I would listen to that podcast and feel like an absolute psychopath. I would come home from work and Teddy would be like, geez, did you listen to Call Her Daddy in the car? What is going on? And I'd be like, yeah, it makes me feel like a crazy psycho. Just because of all the stuff they used to talk about, and they used to make women think that men were cheating all the time. And I don't know. It was just very toxic. However, I do think that doesn't erase the past of Call Her Daddy, but I do think that Alex has really made a 180, and I think she does a much better job now of giving healthier advice. I think she realized how toxic she was, and she started going to therapy, and I think now she is a much better role model, for the women that are already listening to her. So it's much better than it used to be. I still don't agree with everything she says, like anyone else, but it's much better than it used to be. I'm telling you, I would feel like a psychopath after listening to that. And I mean, I'm not easily like swayed into feeling that way. I'm not like psycho, but that would make me feel like it. Okay, Wayne Randalls, thank you for the $7.99. Again, lots of love, Courtney. Keep doing what you do best. Thank you so much for all the support. I appreciate it so much. I'll answer a couple more questions. Oh, someone says, Alex says, have you ever felt lonely before? Any difficult moments? Yeah, and that's actually why I made that How to Make Friends video, that I posted on my channel last week. a couple weeks ago, I was sitting in my bedroom, I was working, and I think I like saw some old friends that I used to have all together, like doing fun stuff. And I felt so incredibly sad. And like, I was only friends with like two people out of this entire group. Um, and they kind of had their own group, but I just felt so sad that I was not there or like seeing my friends. I felt so lonely. And I'm like, oh my gosh, am I working too much? Am I not putting enough value on the friendships in my life? Like, it really made me think about, am I prioritizing things right? And do I have a good, like, healthy life balance? And it's also really tough for me too because I'm from Cincinnati. So a couple of my closest girlfriends in the entire world are there. And I only get to see them like once a year, maybe twice a year. So I do feel lonely sometimes, and I'm lucky that I have an incredible partner, but I do think it's important to have friends in your life too and not just rely on that person. It puts a lot of pressure on them, and ultimately, you cannot rely on that other person to be your entertainment or your happiness all the time. You have to get that from you. So, that is something that I've been working on too. I'm very comfortable being alone, a little bit too comfortable being alone, and I think sometimes that keeps me from hanging out with people and being with friends, not because I don't want to, but because I like to be home and by myself. I'm an only child, so I'm very used to being alone. So yeah, I do feel lonely sometimes, and it's something I'm working on. So maybe some of you can relate. Um, if you were single, what's the oldest you would date? Probably like 10 years older than me, so probably like 35. I feel like that's the oldest I could go. My parents are pretty young, so I could never date someone older than my parents. That would be so awkward, and I think that they would not really like that. Um, Cowboy Cody, thank you for the $5. You have inspired me to make a video for guys who don't work like the traditional office job. I'm gonna make more videos for like everyone and understand that not everybody, wears suits and stuff every day. So thank you for the inspiration. I just want to let you know that you inspired me. Any style advice for cowboys and rugged men? Oh, I didn't even read your comment before I said that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that in the future. Um, yeah, so stay tuned. I'll make a video all about that for you. I know you've been asking me for a while, so thank you for your patience. Creepy Black Dude, thank you for the $5. As a prominent female voice in a space that isn't that welcoming of such, does it surprise you and do you feel any sense of responsibility from it? Yeah, there are times when it feels very overwhelming, sometimes in a good way and sometimes in a bad way. I love to help you guys all out. I get so much fulfillment from doing this for my job. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but there are times when people are so just mean for no reason. And there are days when it bothers me and there are days when it doesn't bother me. So if I'm having a bad day and I get a ton of mean comments, I'm like, ugh, I'm just trying to help. Why are all these guys being so mean to me? Like, I can't imagine how they treat women who, aren't advocating for them and trying to help. Like, I genuinely am just trying to help. I know, people accuse me of being like a chameleon and, whatever, but I'm in this for the right reasons. I genuinely care. I have men in my life that I've seen struggle my entire life. I've seen what it's like for you guys to, have mental health issues and not have people to reach out to. I've watched my guy friends struggle with dating, and you know, I really just want to help. So genuinely, from me to you, I want to help you, and I feel overwhelmed sometimes in a good way because I have so many of you reaching out to me, and it feels incredible to be able to help you. Sometimes then I feel overwhelmed even more because of that, because I don't have the capacity to get back to all of you. But I'm incredibly thankful for this platform, and I hope that it inspires other women and men to be kind to each other. The biggest thing I want is for people to leave my channel and feel a little bit healthier and happier than when they got here. So if that happens, then my goal has been reached. So yeah, I do feel responsibility, but it's mostly a good thing, and I love what I do. Brandon, the ruiner, thank you for the $5. I really got a question for you to answer. Why do people commit suicide in life? It happens way too much in this world. I see it too much. Yeah, and while we're on the topic of mental health, I'm not a therapist, but I see the struggles that people go through. People in my life that I love more than anything, I have watched struggle with this. Um, and it makes me very sad that people think that nobody cares about them or there's not someone there for you, because I promise you there always is. Um, and there's always someone to call. There's a hotline that you can call if you're someone that is feeling this way. And if there's any resources I can make available for all of you, I will do it, because I don't want anyone to think like that is their only option. That's gut wrenching, horrible. I can't imagine feeling that way, but I have some people in my life that have felt that way, and it crushes me to know that they went through that. And if you guys are ever struggling, I can't guarantee that I'll get back to you, but I will provide you resources to go to if you're someone that's dealing with that. Great question. Anything else? Did I get them all? Uncle Greatness, thank you for the $5. Truly appreciate how you practice what you preach. Also, thank you for acknowledging men's struggles and also to hold women accountable and not just men. Thank you for saying that. It means a lot to me. I'm glad that it's not going unnoticed. I think there's a lot of people who talk the talk but don't walk the walk, especially on YouTube. And I simply wouldn't get advice from someone who is telling you all to do one thing but then doing something completely shady and different behind your back. So, again, be careful who you're watching and careful who you're getting your advice from, especially if you're paying them. My laptop it sounds like it's going to explode. The fan is like going crazy. If you've had a vasectomy, when should you share that info with the girl you're dating? That's a good question. I think, if it depends how old you are. If she's someone that is planning to have kids, I think you need to let them know pretty early on, because you wouldn't want them getting so invested into you and then they're like in love with you and then you break the news that you can't have kids. That might be devastating for some people, and vice versa. I think if you know you can't have kids, to be pretty upfront about that. Not saying it would be a deal breaker for everybody. I think some people would be totally okay with that, as there are people that don't want to have kids. That's totally fine. There's adoption. There's so many other amazing options for people that can't have kids. So it's not a deal breaker, but I would say you want to let them know pretty early on, especially if things, are starting to get a little bit more serious. Uh-oh, some people are blocking each other. Drama in Courtney Ryan's chat. Let's see. I am not going to show my feet. Thank you for the question, but no thank you. Would you consider doing a video of rating guys' dating profiles on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge? Could use some help. Yes. Don't send them to me yet, because I'm going to post a thing on my Instagram story asking you guys to send them to me, and it's too confusing for me when I have them coming from everywhere. So if you don't already, follow me on Instagram, and then don't send them to me yet, like I said, but I will post something on my story asking you guys to submit them, and you can send them to me then. I'm not doing the video yet, so that's why I don't want them yet. I want to be able to have everything in one place, but I'm going to be doing that in the future. How old are you? I'm 25. I'll be 26 in December. Are Courtney and Teddy still together? Really enjoy their videos. Yes, we are still together. Your vision, $5. Thank you so much. And I remember you from the beginning of my channel. So thank you for supporting me this entire time. I really appreciate it. There is a group of you that I remember your face from the very beginning, and it means the world to me. Hey, Courtney, we love your channel and wish you all the best. Who are the 2 YouTubers you would love to collaborate with? Thank you. And The Roommates was a good one for me. Playing with Fire was fun. I'm excited to collab with Rebecca. I would love to do a video with Marnie. And then who else? I don't know. That's a good question. I guess it would depend on what I wanted to do a video about. I think a fashion video would be cool with Alex Kosser teaching men's fashion, but they don't really do that many collab videos. I guess all I would have to do is reach out and see if they would be up for it. But Yeah, I don't know. Good question. If you guys want me to collab with people, let me know. Um, oh, Abba and Preach. I love Abba and Preach. They're so funny. I really like them. I don't know if I would go on Fresh and Fit, to be honest. If I'm just being totally transparent. A couple months ago I might have, but after all that, eh. Are you talking about Rebecca Barrett doing a video with her? Yeah, we're talking next week. At least it's on the schedule. Hopefully it doesn't change again. I've had to switch it up a couple times for things popping up, but I really like her a lot. Courtney, make a Patreon. Okay, I wanted to bring this up before I leave the live because so many of you have reached out asking me if I were to make a Patreon, who would be interested? What would you want from me? I think I might set up something where there's like a base thing where you can just support my channel if you want to. Of course, don't feel like you need to. And then maybe a next tier where I do like a private live stream a month with only my Patreon members. That way I can get to more of your questions and answer things more one on one. Um, because sometimes it's hard to see everything in the chat because there's so many people here. I mean, there's 489 people here. I imagine there's been more. Um, so I might do that. If you guys have any other ideas that you would be interested in, of course, let me know. But I would definitely be interested and open to doing a Patreon if that's something that you guys would like. So I could figure something out. Just let me know. Thoughts on buying an engagement ring on credit, like a credit card? Don't ever go into debt for an engagement ring. I think it's so silly. You could get a lab grown diamond that's a lot cheaper. You could do a moissanite if you really can't afford something. Even if you can't afford something now, the girl in your life should understand, and maybe you can buy her a better one later in life. Like, I don't think you should ever go in debt for an engagement ring. On a credit card, if you can pay it off quickly, then sure. But if my boyfriend went in debt for my engagement ring, I would be so upset. Okay, you guys are saying yes, do the Patreon. That's so great to hear. I will figure out something to do. Have you seen Roma Army's videos? She's like a hardcover version of you. No, I haven't. I have not, but I've heard of her. I've just never watched her videos. Are you a gamer? No, not really. But when I was little, one of my favorite memories was watching my dad play video games. He is like super into video games. It's like his favorite thing ever. And so I remember loving watching him play, like probably until I was like a teenager. And so sometimes, like if my boyfriend plays video games, I really just like to watch. Like it's like so entertaining for me, especially when the games are scary. Like I remember my I'm like nerding out right now. I remember my dad playing like Resident Evil 4 when I would like beg him to play it because it was so scary and like I loved it. So no, I don't really play video games. My anxiety is too bad. I get like crazy anxious, especially if it's a scary game, but I like to watch. Okay, Isaac is helping someone out here. It says Roy said something about how his last girlfriend abused him and killed his self-esteem. So he didn't know what to ask exactly. Oh, so maybe how to bounce back from that. I think you just have to go forward understanding that just because someone did that to you does not mean another person will. You have to be able to build yourself back up and be that person for yourself. Only you can control your happiness and what you get out of life. So, putting so much giving someone else so much power over you, absolutely don't do it. It's not worth it because it's just going to make you upset. So, really being able to take control back of your confidence, the way you feel about yourself, and move forward. Just as an example, I'll tell you the guy that I dated for like 4 years between maybe it was 3. I can't even remember, from high school and college. He cheated on me so many times, and I had no self-respect for myself at that point because I just kept going back to him. I felt so bad about myself, and after that, you have trust issues, right? You go into your next relationship and you're like, "Oh my god, every guy's going to do this to me." But then you realize that that's not true. And just because one guy treated you like crap does not mean that every other guy on the planet would treat you like crap. So try to get that out of your head. What happened to you? It happened, but keep it there. You don't have to make a story about it and say, well, I'm unlovable or I'm the worst because she treated me this way. That's something that you're creating. So being able to leave it where it happened and move on is going to help you tremendously, which you should, because not every girl's going to treat you like that. Twizzlers or red vines? Red vines. You guys, Twizzlers taste like plastic to me. I used to eat them by the bag at the movies. I think I made myself sick of them, and now red vines are like one of my favorite candies ever. So definitely red vines. Forever American, thank you so much for the $50. I appreciate it. A supervisor, same age range, different opinions, but great character, notices my can-do attitude at work and displays the signs of her feelings for me when no one's looking. I feel compassion for her and wanted to know, is it worth asking her out? This is incredibly tricky, especially when it's work and your supervisor. I would be very careful doing this. I made an entire video all about dating in the workplace that I think if you haven't watched already, you should definitely check it out. But going for a supervisor can make you or break you. And if this is a job that you want long term, it can really lead to some negative consequences. So I would be careful, and make sure. Honestly, I would wait for her to express it to you, honestly, because she's your boss. Um, All right, guys, I'll do like one more question. Maybe a couple if they're little. Do you have a tattoo? No, I don't have any tattoos. I'm too indecisive to ever decide to get anything on my body. Um, okay, Clayton Smith. Thank you for the $4.99. Do you ever consider yourself a rarity among women? I interact with a lot of women, and your level headed, logical perspective seems to be uncommon. I mean, I think when you look at the girls that are being displayed on different YouTube videos or on the internet, I seem like I'm very rare. I seem like probably a unicorn. I seem like there's no other girls like me. And I don't want to sound like a pick me girl at all. I hate that. I don't ever want to seem that way. I am very self-aware. I have really worked on myself. I have healed things that have been wrong with me in the past that I know, and taken accountability for areas where I fell short. And that's why I feel like I'm able to view things so in such a level-headed way, because I see both sides. I really try to be logical instead of emotional. But there are times when I'm not perfect. There are times when, I'm maybe not the best partner one day, or I'm not the best friend, or I'm not the best daughter. I have my days too. I'm not perfect. And I know when you see me on a screen, you see me in a video, it can seem like I'm, perfect or a certain way, but I'm not. I make mistakes too. And I don't think I think there are other women out there like me too, but I think it takes a lot of taking accountability for areas where you fall short, healing, um, and really just working on yourself to get to a place where you can view things in a very logical way and not get upset about everything that so many people are dealing with nowadays. So, I have a lot of really great friends that I would consider pretty much like myself. And I know you guys just probably don't see women like that a lot. So it seems like there's not a lot of us, but I promise there are. What is a pick me girl? You guys, it is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's basically a girl that acts a certain way or does things to get male attention. I'm not doing things for attention from anybody. I'm just trying to help, okay? So if I disagree with a woman, that does not make me a pick me girl. If I say a man is right, that does not make me a pick me girl. I think it's the silliest thing to come on the internet, probably this past year that I've seen. It's mostly on TikTok. Like, if a girl says she doesn't like something, that most girls like, people will comment, "Oh my God, you're such a pick me girl." It's like, sometimes girls are into different things. Sometimes girls like video games or girls like painting their nails. Either way, one or the other does not make you a pick me girl. It's crazy to me. I have girls call me that sometimes. I'm just like, shouldn't we be nice to each other? Like, why are we being mean? There's a girl I want to approach, but not sure how to go about it. I'm a senior. Is it really worth it? I mean, if you're into her and you want to do it, I say go for it. The worst she can say is no, and you move on and you're fine. With the reference to you being a senior, you are never too old to meet someone. You are never too old to find someone that would be a good match for you. I really don't think there's a time limit on life, or you should be this at a certain point, or you should have done this by a certain point. I get a lot of messages from older men saying, I'm too old for a girlfriend now, or I'm too old to find a partner. And that's simply not true. I know people who are 60, 65 that, met their partner and they're super happy. So, don't write yourself off like that. Like I've said so many times, keep your options open, keep tracking. You got it. Okay, guys, I think that's all I can do for today. My voice is shot. But thank you all for joining me. Again, thank you so much for 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you all and the super chats and your support and all of you guys sending questions. It really does mean the world to me, and I hope that you guys can all see that. So, like this video. I'm probably going to share it to my page after this is done. So if you missed part of it, you can go back and watch. Yeah, and let me know what you want to see from me in the future. Thank you all for being here and have a good night.